Ladies and gentlemen, today we talk about a topic that is near and dear to me, that gets under my skin because it is on my skin. We talk about racism, we talk about Argentina, we also talk a little bit about Spain, and also what should happen next. If you do not know, ladies and gentlemen, after the Euros and after the Copa America, both tournaments were really awesome to watch. I think I enjoyed the Euros a little bit more than Copa America, but both tournaments ended up leaving a sour taste in my mouth, and also in the mouths of many fans of football around the world, just because of how the victors of both tournaments acted and carried themselves. Well, now we're going to talk about what first of all happened with the Euros after Spain beat England 2-1, and also talk about Argentina and what happened in that bus after they beat Colombia. I believe the score was 1-0, but we are mainly going to focus also a little bit about the context of what the subject of racism is, especially with regards to Argentina, how it's been treated, how it is how people respond to it. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to welcome you here on this wonderful Tuesday and say my name is botswanapapi, or you can call me Bots or Football Power Hour. Let's get this show started, shall we?
Bruno Fernandez! It's Fred! It's Martial! The Cavani! Just waiting on the back post, surely he'll be found! And Messi scores first! Premier League goal at Old Trafford!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, there you may say, this topic is outdated. It happened a while ago, but this is very important that we talk about it and don't sweep these things under the rug, because it happens quite a lot. And now, actually, this time around, I want to first start off with the Euros and talk about Spain. And say, if you did not know, the Spanish national team was caught singing chants that were more or less very, very offensive to the people of Gibraltar. And the Gibraltar Football Association ended up, issuing out a statement asking UEFA to do something about it. And it looks like, guess what? Today, on the 23rd of July, 2024, UEFA has finally done something about it. They say Spain players Rodri and Alvaro Morata have been charged by UEFA for the Gibraltar is Spanish chant at Euro 2024. Now, the Spanish team were saying, they were chanting this song that, says it's Spanish, Gibraltar is Spanish, which is very, very disrespectful to the people of Gibraltar, because Gibraltar is a nation of its own. It's a sovereign state. And we know that England has actually played Gibraltar not too long ago. But the main thing that is positive about this is that UEFA has done something about it. And if you want to know a little bit more actually about Gibraltar, I want to just read you this excerpt right here that says, Rodri may well have been responding to some England fans who chanted Gibraltar as hours ahead of the Euro 2024 final on Spain. But if you didn't know, they would also be wrong, given that it is a British territory and has been since 1713, when Gibraltar was ceded to Britain by the Spanish crowd. Although Rodri was joking and simply celebrating a monumental victory along with thousands of Spain fans, Morata was on hand to offer a quick reminder to Rodri, the Manchester City star. Actually, Spain's Alvaro Morata sent Rodri a quick reminder of where he plays football during the sing song about Gibraltar. So they were having this moment of euphoria, celebrating, yes, we beat England. But then, Alvaro Morata said, hey, man, you play in England, mate. And but this didn't seem to faze Rodri, as he cheekily replied, I don't care. Now, the Gibraltar FA though appeared to have taken offense and took action, releasing a statement to announce they will make an official complaint to UEFA regarding the chant. Now, um, in a statement, the Gibraltar FA said the Gibraltar FA welcomes the announcement today that UEFA has decided to open formally disciplinary proceedings against Rodri and Alvaro Morata, further to the complaint filed by Gibraltar FA with UEFA. Now, we don't know exactly what that punishment at this very moment will be, but we know that there will be some disciplinary action taken. This feeds well into what the Enzo Fernandez and Argentina players situation was about, because the question that I want to raise in today's discussion is what should happen next? What does this mean? That we have witnessed a player go on Instagram Live to show us, give us a slice of what they do in the private moment as a team from Argentina after winning the Copa America. Now, this song in particular that they were singing at that very moment is funny because it was about France and French players. And even though Argentina faced Colombia, which is, first of all, the first mind boggling thing about it. You're like, hold on a second. What does this got to do with France? Now, this song, if you do not know, has some pretty offensive lyrics. It has some really, really offensive lyrics that more or less challenge, and not only just challenge, the song degrades the identity, the French identity of these players. Some people have actually gone to the extent of saying, no, it's just the song is just describing that, oh, this person's parents is from this place and that place. But it is deeper than that. It is deeper than that. Stick around with me so we unpack the deepness of the situation with the context that comes along with understanding how these Argentinian players may have felt it's okay to sing such an offensive, derogatory song that even questions the sexual preferences of other people. First of all, before I go any further, I want to say big, 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 big welcome to everybody that is here. I am hoping that we can have a respectful conversation, a nuanced conversation, and just at the end of the day, my objective is for us to know a little bit more about race, a little bit more about history. At the end of this, it's not really to put anybody down to say this person is better, this person is, because nobody's a saint. Everybody's a work in progress. Matter of fact, if you were here earlier on, I made a little, mistake, confusing a player, one black player for another that played for Manchester United. And I'm saying this to say that to err is human. To make a mistake is part of the human experience, right? It's part and parcel of living. But nobody is immune to just going out intentionally and saying derogatory things about other people, about another race, and can claim that ignorance as an excuse. That has no room at all. We are in 2024. This is not 1974 or 1964. I don't know where the people of Argentina as a country live mentally, especially when we're talking about this problem of race, because some people can actually, like, even today, it happens that they think it's permissible to make monkey gestures, monkey songs, monkey sounds when they are provoking a player of that is black, right? And some of them can even equate that to sort of like, if you're white, saying that making fun of somebody's race is almost equivalent of like making somebody's fun of somebody's hair, saying, "Oh, look at that red hair." But we're talking about something, equality about a person that they cannot change, that they were born with, that they did not choose, and this is a serious issue because mainly it's white people in Argentina. If you did not know, you now know that it's offensive and it's really derogatory and it's something that has to be punished and reprimanded. We cannot just accept like something that's just like a short little like fine, a monetary fine. That is horrible. Now, I wanna just bring out the lyrics of that song really quickly. Um and then from there we can just quickly just listen to not I'm not even gonna play it. I'm just gonna see if I can just find how what the actual translation. So what a matter of fact, whatever. Let me just play it. Enzo Fernandez put it on Instagram Live. We might as well play it. Before I play it, big shout out to Brendan, Imran Khan, Stephanie, Luman, Luan, Vegeta, Dark Crow. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now on this discussion. I'm hoping that we can talk about it and also grow and learn as a community. Now, I'm gonna start first with, actually, it's important for me to just bring out the song, right? Because I just saw Brendan's comment saying, what exactly was the song about? Now, let's get to what the song was about in a moment, because it is important that we know exactly the evidence at hand that we are talking about, right? Here we go. So I'm gonna see how to enlarge this. Boom. So, selección, vamos. Okay. Now, here is the thing. This song, you can take it for face value and say, it's just banter, it's friendly fire, but it's more than just banter. It's derogatory. The lyrics translate, if you do not speak Spanish. They play for France, but they're from Angola. His mother is Nigerian, his father is Cameroonian, but on the passport, it says French. Now, when they say his mother, his father, like they're actually trying to direct this towards Kylian Mbappe, you know? And you can say, yeah, they're responding to whatever the French when they won the when Argentina won the World Cup, there there was a quote unquote derogatory song that was made up by the French um, fans, and that song was like making fun of Messi. But actually, that's not even the case. There's that rumor that I've heard that people saying, "Oh, why is it right for them to make a song that mocks somebody and then we make us?" That is not what we're talking about here. Matter of fact, that song in particular is actually more paying homage to N'Golo Kante, saying he managed to shut down Messi, and it was more like that. It was more of a song that was sort of praising N'Golo Kante rather than mocking Messi. But this topic today is we're talking about the last 10 seconds of that song that is specifically talking about the player's identity of France, right? So to get a little bit of a context and how like race is treated in Argentina, I just want to tell you right now that Argentina is made up of immigrants. Matter of fact, I think about 60 plus percent of Argentinians are from Italy, that Italian descent. And Argentina is a country. Obviously, there was Native Americans that were living in there, but all these immigrants came in, and then from there has been a history. There's factual evidence of the politicians in Argentina, pardon me, trying to keep Argentina white. What do I mean by that? There has been things like Afro cleansing in Argentina. If you did not know, now you're gonna know. let's go back to the mid 19th century. The population of Argentina was comprised of one third of black people. Matter of fact, it was about 37% were black people. Today, it's less than 1%. Question is, where did all the black people go? There are a couple of theories. I did a little bit of research. There's a couple of theories about what happened, and there's three main prevalent ones that keep coming back. It doesn't matter where you look. Matter of fact, you if you do not believe me, you can even do a Google search for yourself and just go to, say, for example, let me show you. You can just go to Google and just type in Afro cleansing of Argentina. Afro cleansing of Argentina. You will learn something today. Just go to Google. Look at me typing right here, Afro cleansing of Argentina. You'll see that there'll be different people that have written different scholastic like opinions, different pieces, column pieces, different historical books written that are talking about what actually happened to the people in Argentina. Different, like some of them is Black genocide, the true history of the whitening of Argentina. You know, this right here, there is an actual studies that go to great lengths about just different efforts to try and eliminate Afro-Argentinians that were in Argentina. And we're not even going to do that because this is not like an intensive history lesson. But another thing that I want to bring up is that um, Argentina housed, you can just type Argentina and Argentina Nazi um you can say Nazi haven. Just type Argentina Nazi and look at what Google brings up. More than 300 Nazi fugitives fled to Argentina, including war criminals such as Erik Priebke, Joseph Mengele, Edward Rushman, Joseph Schwamberger, Walter Kuchman, and Gestapo Colonel Adolf Eichmann. This is just like first glance on Google. I hope I'm sharing this tab that I'm searching on. Let me zoom in so you can see for yourself. I literally just typed Argentina Nazi. Boom. And that's what happened. Now you'll realize right now that it is no coincidence that Argentina's history is tainted with some racist connotations in it. There's the whitening of Argentina, as we saw in the previous headline, right? In the previous Google search. There's the Afro cleansing, like things that have happened in Argentina that I want to bring up first of all, like the three main things that I found in my deeper, like research on this topic. They were There's a theory that a lot of the black people that were in Argentina were forced to be in the military battle that they had versus Paraguay. And this was a military battle that Argentina knew they were going to lose. And what they did is they put a lot of the black people in the battalions. Now, if you know anything about war, there's armies, there's the army, there's divisions, there's regiments, and then there's battalions, right? And most of the black people that were there, that were eligible to fight, were put in these battalions that went first and were meant to be like what erased by Paraguay in the pretext of we are in war with Paraguay. Another major theory is that in 1870 there was a plague that Argentina had, a yellow fever plague, and there we can even do a Google search. Matter of fact, I won't even waste too much time and like hitting Google search for every of these points. I wanted to do that, but I do not want to spend this as a history lesson on how horrible Argentina is as a country and how where the racist like tendencies stem from. I'll let you make that mind up for yourself if you want to. But the main thing is that a lot of the black people in Argentina were denied medication. They were neglected during this yellow fever plague. That's what the research shows. In 1870, 1875, it just keeps on happening that there was part of this as a systematic very, very clever way to what? To whiten Argentina. Another we've talked about it. There's the military, the yellow fever, and the Afro cleansing of Argentina. Let's really quickly look at this guy that was president of Argentina from 1868. Not Dominic Tedesco, that's an Italian German football manager, but Domingo Sarmiento. There we go. Former president of Argentina. Matter of fact, let's just type. I don't even know like what to just type. I'm just thinking of this on the spot because I read about this guy and it was not looking good. Let's just say race. Uh Black people, right? We're just looking keywords. All right. Um Mi patria de pensamiento. Okay, the history of removal of Argentina's. Okay, let's just quickly just look at this. And Jemima, okay, now they want us to subscribe. Let's go back. But what you'll find about Domingo Sarmiento. Let's do this. Afro cleansing. Why did it say ritual? It suggested ritual. Um, there we go. Let's look at this. Blacks do not exist. What is this? It can I what? Argentina. Today's many Argentinians hold erroneous beliefs that Argentina neither participated in the slave trade nor witnessed the presence of Afro Argentinians as if they had left the country naturally. Just look at this. This is just one of these pieces that are just dispelling what has been said about to account for the fact that a third of the country was black, and now today less than 1% is black people. How, Sway? Look, let's read a little bit further on this and look at one part. Former Argentinian President Carlos Menem. This is even a different president. It's not Domingo Sarmiento. This is Carlos Menem. He said, in Argentina, blacks do not exist. That is a Brazilian problem. Look at that. This is what is problematic about this topic to begin with. How are you gonna refer to the blacks as a Brazilian problem? Right? Let's keep reading a little bit further. There's another this is one of the pieces that I definitely saw. Okay, this is the paragraph that caught my attention. Another devastating factor was the outbreak of yellow fever, as we talked about. Many sources point to a far darker and more sinister force at work, a covert genocide orchestrated by Domingo Sarmiento, who served as Argentina's president from 68 to 74 in the 1800s and played a pivotal role in decimating the Afro Argentine population. The architect of genocide, Domingo Sarmiento. This is what we are learning about today. Big up to anybody that is joining in, by the way. This is not the lightest of topics, but it is a very important one for us to understand the context in which race is regarded, the conversation of race, and how far Argentina is with the rest of the world, or rather, how backward Argentina is compared to many parts of the world. I don't want to say racism is only in Argentina, by the way, but I want to make sure that you understand if you have never really looked at the history of Argentina and how race is regarded there, this is the stream for you. All right. And we can see that there was a clear what do they call it? They converted genocide. This is the part that I'm going to just leave it here and let you read for yourself if you want to know a little bit more about it. But this is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take a second to just quickly look at the comments and also say shout out to everybody that is here. I see Joe Black Man. How appropriate to have a black man when we're talking about black man. MEN. Yo, Lucky in the houses. I think we will have some fringe players against Arsenal. Big up to Lucky, by the way. Stephanie, big shout out to you as well. And all right. Let's go on to big up to Diddy in the house as well. I appreciate you for being here, by the way. Shout out to you, Diddy. Let's go to the question that Mr. Blackman wants to ask really quickly. The question is, why did Argentina sing about France anyway? They didn't even play in the same competition. Could it be something to do with the fact that maybe, Joe, maybe some Argentinian people know that even though Argentina won that World Cup, I hope I'm not muted. Let's do sound check. Why is the sound? There's gotta be a conspiracy theory. Hold on. Am I muted? Did I go on mute again? Let's see. Am I muted still? I hope I'm not muted. There is a conspiracy theory going on. 1 minute. Am I back or am I here? I don't know what in the race is going on. Wait. Am I okay? Am I back? Jeez, wait. Let me see. Now I gotta open up the stream on my phone and just double check if I'm okay. All right, I'm okay. We good? Okay. Thank you. Appreciation. So man, I don't know exactly why I got cut off, but the this microphone racist.
Get right here, man.
Anyway, the follow up question that I guess I wanted to ask everyone is, was response to what Joe had put out as the question that Joe was asking was um, have you asked yourself why you have not seen a black player on the Argentinian national team when we've had the country nearby Brazil has had Pele. The last black Argentinian player that was probably seen was in the 1920s. There was like also like a substitute goalkeeper that maybe in the 60s or something like that. But have you asked yourself those questions and wondered why is this the case? Uruguay has had black players. Colombia, Ecuador, all the Southern American major countries have had black players, except Argentina. Why? ¿Por qué? So that's the question that we wanted to, that I wanted to pose today. Sorry, that mute thing threw me off for a second, but I want to also we talked about Domingo Sarmiento. I believe we talked about the three major theories of why the Afro cleansing in Argentina happened, and also what else? We talked about the fact that Argentina's racial makeup is mainly immigrants. So I do not get why a country that is made up of immigrants would want to not celebrate ethnic diversity and respect racial identity. There is less than 1% of black people in Argentina. Be sensitive to those people. Argentina, you do not live in a bubble. You you need to catch up to the rest of the world. And now the question that is even bigger that I want to pose in today's discussion is, why has the ambassador, the GOAT, the captain of the football team of Argentina not said anything? Right? People have called him the GOAT before. If he is a GOAT, then he has to act like a GOAT. You have to act like a captain. You are the face, or one of the faces of football, because CR7 FC will also have something to say about that. But the main thing is, Messi has always been distancing himself from this race topic, and almost being, hiding behind ignorance, or hiding behind, oh, it's not that serious type of conversation. Guys, the topic of race and Messi gets deeper. Stay with me for a second. If you do a short Google search for yourself, I'm not even going to go too deep in this conversation because I want to share the link. I want to hear other people's opinions. And I've been speaking for so long, the mic might mute me again before I get muted. Messi. So I'll give you a little bit of context first, and background about myself. Right, I was born in Botswana, raised in Botswana. Understood that I'm from Botswana, but I really got a deeper appreciation of myself as an African after I left Africa for school. I went to school in Hong Kong. I studied amongst Asian people and people of just different racial backgrounds, and when I was in Hong Kong, that's when I got a deep understanding of, like, oh no, I'm not just somebody from Botswana. I'm an African, and my skin means something. My blackness means something that I did not necessarily appreciate as much, because my upbringing had only exposed me to only mostly black people. Right, Botswana, the racial composition of it is majority black people. It's not as diverse as, say, maybe, I mean, South Africa has a lot more white people than Botswana. But um, I'm bringing this up to make this point that some people, it's very easy for somebody to dismiss this because of their exposure to what their identity means. Right, when I was in Hong Kong, I got a different understanding of, like, what my blackness means. When I went to mainland China, which is very different from the island of Hong Kong, I got a different appreciation of what blackness means. I actually, one time, I'll tell you this quick story before I share the thing. Uh, I was in a store. It was like a jewelry store, and I was in mainland China in a province called Guangzhou. Curious little Chinese kid walks up to me. He sees me. He says, uh, "Hey, hey, do you like chocolate?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And the kid just says, "Okay, do this." And then the mom comes running at him, and he just grabs him like this and says, she was so embarrassed at that moment. For me, I saw that, like, really really beautiful, like, moment of just, like, this kid is so curious. This kid wants to just talk with me and actually interact with me, and find out, like, a little bit about my story, instead of just look at me and not say anything or have an interaction with me. And the whole store heard this, by the way. And obviously they said some words in Mandarin. The mom was scolding the kid and so forth, and the my friends that were, I was the only black person there, with like 8 people that were from China, some of them from Hong Kong, some of them from mainland China, and they pretty much were telling me that, like, the mom was so angry at that kid, saying, you'll get beaten, blah blah blah, and it was like, for me, something that was like, I was like, what? First of all, that mother, like, didn't need to scold that kid. That kid was really curious about what this who this person is. Like, they only Some parts of rural China, they only see black people on TV. A lot of people there assumed I was good at basketball. I'll save that other story for another time because it's another story that might make you laugh. But the main point that I'm trying to make is that exposure to different races at different places gives you a layered understanding of what identity means. So something that can be taken as face value as like, oh, that's just like a banter song. It's not just a banter song. It's actually an evil truth being exposed right there on Instagram Live by Enzo Fernandez. Now, Enzo might be a good guy at heart, right? And the fact that he didn't know that what they were doing is not right, and he even went further on to go on Instagram and show to the rest of the world, it means that there's a severe lack of education, severe lack of sensitivity to how people can feel about the words that you say, about the songs that you sing, and the chants that you make. Now I want to just say this, that before we get into what needs to happen to Enzo Fernandez, what needs to happen to the Argentinian team, thank goodness UEFA has done something about Alvaro Morata and Rodri, or they're doing something, let's put it that way. Thank goodness that's happening. But we need to make sure that this is a moment of education for everybody, not just the players of Argentina, but the people of Argentina, because there's a stain in Argentina's history right now. A nice back-to-back Copa America with a World Cup. They made a sandwich of trophies, and all of that for me is just like, oh, brother. Anytime now I'm just seeing Argentina, I will not support. I used to actually be excited a little bit about, oh, let's see what Argentina is gonna do as a national team. People that have been on this channel, they know that I love Brazil. That's one of the teams that I used to really, really support when I was younger, and Argentina too. But I was curious. I was like, how come there's no black players? It was just something that I just dismissed. I was like, maybe there's just not enough, and I never really dug into this history until these events have been happening. So, what I want to say is that the question that I want to ask is, what in your opinion, what needs to happen to Enzo Fernandez? What needs to happen to Messi? Because there's with great power comes great responsibility. And Messi has the responsibility to act like an ambassador of football, to act like the captain of Argentina, to come out there and say something, rebuke what has happened, admit that it's a shame, and then we can use this as a moment of education for everybody else. Now, the vice president of Argentina also had some words to say. Guys, this topic is layered and layered and layered, because the vice president, her name is something along the lines of let me see what her name is, and I had it written down. There we go. Okay, so obviously, the backlash has been there the last couple of days and so forth, even though right now it's dying down. um the vice president of Argentina decided to publicly come out and support Enzo. This is the statement that she mentioned. No colonialist country, her name is Victoria Villarruel, by the way. She said, and I quote, no colonialist country is going to intimidate us for a football song or for telling the truth that they do not want to admit. Stop feigning indignation, hypocrites. Enzo, I'm with you. Close quote. Now, it seems like she's also one of those people that lacks education. I'm sorry, you might be the vice president, but right now, you and Enzo Fernandez need to be sent to cultural sensitivity training camp. You need to be taught what the words you're saying, what they can mean. And right now, I just want to just go ahead and say this was actually also embarrassing for a politician to come out publicly and want to say something that is this ridiculous. I want to also talk briefly, I'm going to share the link right now in the chat as I introduce this other point that I I want to bring to this discussion, because I'm curious. Really, I posed a couple of questions and I want to know what you say and what you feel. Like he says, we respect all different races in the UK. You know, Lucky, I hope that is true. I hope that is the case. You know, we know that racism, especially in Spain, especially in Italy, it's prevalent. Even though players daily take a knee before kickoff, it feels like that routine has no meaning. You know, Vegeta says we have a whole race of Europeans that created a new race and culture. Africana's interesting history our country has. That's another deep layered conversation, Vegeta. We got to Mr. Van Riebeck in the 1800s and how the Dutch, when they arrived in the Cape. But that's also another topic for another day. That also, Vegeta. Actually, I invite you, Vegeta, to come in and give your thoughts, especially about this Enzo Fernandez racism situation, and just what needs to happen next, what you like to see happen next. This invitation extends to anybody that is watching. We have 15 people watching, and I would like to hear your opinion. The other point that I wanted to introduce was like, people have been siding with Enzo. It's not just the vice president, but um uh other players. But before we talk about other players, it'll be disingenuous for me not to mention the Chelsea players' reactions to Enzo Fernandez's comments, because we have had different people take different sides, and this is also now going to be interesting to see what Enzo Maresca the Chelsea coach, is gonna have to deal with, because you know he's coming into a dressing room that is not harmonious, that needs a team meeting that's not related to tactics, is just related to just talking about um, respect for blackness, respect for race, respect for identity of each other. It's not even just about black people. um, I think there's about 8 players that play for Chelsea that have that are French with African descent in them, or who are descendants of Africa. And what does that mean moving forward? I believe Wesley Fofana was the first one to actually sort of bring this public reaction and say to Enzo Fernandez, saying, "Wow, this is in uh, racisme décomplexé, je crois." I think that's what he said. It's something like, this is just like blatant racism, basically, and it was just like, one Chelsea player, another Chelsea player unfollowed him, and I believe that it was about a total of 6 Chelsea. I don't follow Chelsea that much to know which players following who on Instagram, but it was almost about to a total of about 6 or 8 Chelsea players that unfollowed Enzo Fernandez, and meaning that this rift is real. This rift is definitely something that needs to be dealt with within the Chelsea camp. Chelsea Football Club also has a responsibility to do something about this, because this is a conversation that you do not just sweep under the rug. My apologies, I'm not able to read everybody's comment. By the way, I want to go ahead and say, let's welcome the man from South Africa himself, Vegeta, in this conversation. Vegeta,
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
you there?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
Or am I muted?
Nah, bro. I'm talking.
Who
Look,
knows?
look,
If I'm
look.
muted, it is what it
My
is.
my character is
Vegeta, you there?
speaking. Guys, can you not hear me? Hello, hello. I'm speaking. Nah,
Vegeta.
I'm
All
speaking,
right.
bro.
While
It's
Vegeta is maybe his mic is being racist again. We have some
nah,
racist
nah, nah.
microphones today. I wanna uh in this conversation also mention fellow Argentinian player. What's his name? Rodrigo de Paul. Rodrigo de Paul went on to say something about Enzo Fernandez.
Oh. What? They can
And
hear me, bro.
this might, it brings a little bit more of like context into this thing, because he was talking about the chant in the bus. He says, I understand that people who have suffered from racism might not like it. Oh gosh, this is not a good statement to begin with. This is what I'm reading out to you right now. Let me see if I can just also share it for the people that may or may not hear my accent or whatever. I just want to just so you are able to see exactly what I am reading. The words of Rodrigo de Paul on this incident. He says, I understand that people who have suffered from racism might not like it, but I think if any of Enzo's teammates feel offended, the way is to call him, not post it on social media. He was responding to Wesley Fofana's racism, um, this reaction that he had to Enzo Fernandez's Instagram live, right? So Rodrigo de Paul said this: you don't go, you shouldn't. If you feel offended, call him. Don't post it on social media. When Enzo is the one who went on social media, but okay. He says, I think there's malice in this. They're trying to make it something that it's not. It's very strange, like kicking someone when they're down. Unfollowing him seems pointless to me. You can call him and say, this isn't okay. You don't post a message apologizing, and the why don't you post a message apologizing, and the issue ends there. So, first of all, Mr. DePaul, Senor DePaul, I think starting your statement with I understand that people who have suffered from racism might not like this is already part of the problem, because you're out here saying if Enzo is the one that went on social media, if you're responding to him on social media, that is not wrong. That, first of all, is like, okay, all right, not problematic in its own way, but we'll brush it to the side for right now. What I agree with Rodrigo de Paul um,
Hello? Check.
on
Am I
is
clear?
saying unfollowing him
Mic
seems
check.
pointless to me. What I think needs to happen is some serious education to Enzo Fernandez. Myself, this is what I think needs to
Same.
happen. He needs to have a real conversation with all the French players that play for Chelsea. He needs to not only have a conversation. It doesn't end there. He needs some real learning, a moment of learning, so that next time he can have that. You know how Alvaro Morata was saying to Rodri that, yo, this is not okay. Even though Alvaro Morata was just saying it's not okay because you
I
play in
agree, me
England.
too.
It's just
It's
not
discriminating
okay.
against the
Period.
chant.
Right? Ostracizing somebody because they're racist is not going to solve the problem. Alienating somebody because they're racist is not going to solve the problem. If somebody is trolling, you know, am I discriminating against the Chad mental ball game? Okay, I'll slow down on this one. I'll slow down on this one while I finish this point.
Oh, so the chat can
Alienating
speak.
somebody that needs help is not going to give us help create a better world. At the end of the day, we want a world where everybody, I would like to see a world where everybody is equal, everybody treats each other with respect, everybody has feels free to banter each other, but we should know that there are certain lines you don't cross. And because right here there was lines crossed. Okay. Lutata says I need 2 cigarettes after all this. Hopefully, Lutata.
Please, can you hear me?
I did
I said
not
what?
make your life difficult. I want to hear the thoughts of somebody else. We have somebody in this conversation. It's the Admiral himself. Let's hear what he has to say so far. Mr. Drex,
Yo, can you hear me?
are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me, Papi, you're the one.
How
I could
come
hear
I can't hear
Vegeta.
Drex either?
I hear
Oh,
Vegeta as well.
I can.
I hear Vegeta. Vegeta can hear me, Papi. I think you're the one.
Ooh. Okay. So you know what? Because you're here, I'm gonna exit and come back because s- something is weird going on with my sound.
Papi, okay, okay. Is it possible? Okay, he's gonna go come off. No, you were here. You were about to say something. Oh, the chat can hear you. Okay. For me, I don't. I was asking, what exactly is the the racist comment in the fact that a lot of these guys are actually from Africa who actually the parents got they were born in France. And I still I know how on the one hand, right, I could say it's offensive because in France was not part of the Copa America. France is way over in Europe. So bringing them, doing that song and all of that after the Copa America final, the victory and all of that, I it's to me it was pointless because this is not the World Cup. This is not France. France got nothing to do with Copa America, right?
Yeah.
What
So
skin? Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
going into that, it was for me was way off, right? But looking dipping it down, this what a lot of these people said, right? People have
Uh-huh.
said it before. Like what they were saying, and I think it's a chance that came from the fans, not really the entire squad. So they just went on with it, right?
Uh,
But I'm still yet to wait, like for someone to actually point out the exact racial thing that was said
can I
and
provide
why.
perspective?
Oh, 1 second before you jump into it. Why is Enzo Fernandez taking the fall for grown up men that were in the box as well? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Vegeta.
No, no. I was just gonna say it's layered, right? Because when you look at the actual words translated on paper, you like you're saying, they're talking to the descendancy of those people, right? But we have to look at the contextual beyond France itself, where black players or just foreigners in these countries are celebrated as natives of those countries when it's good times. For instance, when they won the World Cup, they were French, right?
Yeah.
There was no talking of their descendancy. It wasn't, oh yeah, the French team won, but it's technically Africa's World Cup. It was they were French players. So because it was a good thing, it was attached to the fact that they were French. But what the Argentinians are insinuating is that the World Cup that France won is not legitimate because it wasn't won by French people. That's the insinuation. So you have to look at what are they saying, not the actual words themselves. Because if you look at the words at face value, like you're saying, their parents are factually not from France or their grandparents. That's factually true. But those kids grew up in France and see themselves as French. And you can't take that away from them simply because their descendants aren't primarily from there. That's the racial part of it. And it's so basically the reason why Argentina brought it up is because they're rivals on an international stage and they're questioning the legitimacy of the French team's success because it's at the hands of predominantly African descendants. So that's the racial connotation. Racism, and take it from somebody who grew up in a country where that's literally the bulk of our history, and we are pretty fresh from democracy. Like it's like it happened the other day. So these things aren't always said, Drakes. They most of the time they're insinuated in how people say things. And the second question you ask about Enzo, it's unfortunate because we even spoke about Messi and why he's not coming up to say anything about this as the captain. It's not just Enzo who participated in this. The unfortunate thing in this situation is that it's his face. He's the face of what is happening because he's the one who was video captured actually singing the lyrics. You get me? So it's not that he's alone in the action, but because he was the one who we saw on camera singing the lyrics, he's become the face.
Vegeta. And actually that's what you're saying right now is something that's very important because like even though we had Man United players, Lissandro Martinez and Ganacho, who were also on that bus, but they were,
Yes,
as far as I know, they were not singing that song, at least in that video, right?
yes.
So there's a little bit of like, how culpable, how guilty are they in enabling this situation to happen? Should they be also be part of the, you know, disciplined bunch?
But you see, the problem with that would be then we're here's the thing with Enzo, it's unfortunate because there's actual evidence. You get what I'm saying? Whereas everybody else, we would have to I guess their punishment would be by association because none of them stopped Enzo.
Yeah.
We can't punish them on singing because we didn't see them singing, but we know that for sure they were there. It's guilty by association. They were there. You feel me? That would be the punishment for their crime. To say that you didn't stand up to them, you didn't say anything contrary to them singing. But we can't prove that you were participating because there is no evidence for that.
What are you saying, Drex, to that?
No, I'm saying, okay, I'm saying the same stick with which you used in flogging Enzo, put it across to them man and the
They're
boss.
also culpable.
No, no, no,
Put it
100%.
across.
What we're trying to say
Like,
is
but
that
let see. For me, I feel like okay, fine. Enzo should be Enzo on it. Was 24, 25, if I'm not mistaken. 24
Yeah, I
is an
think
is a
so.
is a is of good age that one could say take responsibility of his action for his actions, but um we should not just make it look like or tag put the tag on one person because he maybe happened to be the one that has the account that went live and all of that. I don't know Enzo per se. I don't know anything about Enzo, but I'm just looking at it from an outside perspective. Like yo, um, hold everybody accountable. If the Argentine, like I said earlier, I think it was in Max channel. I said if the Argentine feel like it's okay with what the players did, then let the France FA come out, right?
Yeah.
And maybe take them to court or something. Because the only thing I see wrong in all of this is the fact that the squad had to pull the France national team into a competition that they were not part of. So meaning it was something that they knew they were doing right consciously, but we're listening to the lyrics of the song because I actually saw the translation. I'm like, okay, except something was lost in translation, but there wasn't anything wrong. Now, Papa, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If it was if there was a if there was a black player in the Argentine squad that said those things, that actually said those things, right? In terms of, oh, these guys are not they're not from France, their parents are from Nigeria, and they were born in France and all of that, right? If it
Mhm.
was a black person saying that to the black squad, the French squad, would there be an outcry like this?
I don't think if that black player in that squad knew what that blackness meant, they wouldn't sing that. Why? 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 I'll flip the question to you in this way.
Why
Why?
is it meaning
Listen,
what?
listen, listen. Why is the song not directed at Griezmann? Griezmann, his ancestry, he's German.
Hmm.
His
But it was the French squad.
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but
Griezmann is
it was
from
targeted
like,
at the black players specifically.
it's
That's the
deep.
point.
You is we are the one making it feel like it was targeted.
No, 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 no. No, we're
No,
not
no,
making it
that's
feel
now
like this was
that's
a song
plausible
to
deniability.
demean Drex. This was a song to be belittling.
Yeah,
To
it was a song to belittle. Yeah, so but how is
yes.
belittling somebody? I could belittle anybody. How is
So
that being
yeah, 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 yeah,
racial?
yes, yes, yes. So actually, what you're actually now tapping into is something that I wanted to mention at the beginning of the. Just let me offer something that may or may not like inform this point of the conversation. Right? If you're just joining in, we're talking about Enzo Fernandez, and what should happen to after this the racist chants that were said by the Argentinian team. Right? So there's something that three terms that I want to give definitions for that I just researched about racism, discrimination, and prejudice. Now, racism is a form of prejudice that involves and it includes negative emotional reactions to members of a group, acceptance of negative stereotypes, and racial discrimination against individuals. And in some cases, it's about it leads to violence, right? Discrimination refers to the differential treatment of different age, gender, racial, ethnic, religious, national, ability, identity, sexual orientation, socioeconomic, and so forth and so forth. And then discrimination is usually the behavioral manifestation of prejudice, and it also involves negative, hostile, and inferior treatment of members of rejected groups. Now, On the surface explanation, you can say, oh yeah, that nobody is denying or is saying anything like is denying somebody black that's from France a job by these chants, right? You can put that blanket like analysis on it if you want, but there is something that is the way you can see that there's something that's meant to derogatory undertones in what they are saying. And those undertones, bro, they stem from prejudice. They stem from somebody racially looking at another person, another race with a different lens, with a different weight. Do you get what I'm trying to say, Drex?
Yeah, I 100% I get you, but my own take is
Mm,
you are saying there's an undertone,
yeah,
right? Now, because of the discrimination and the prejudice,
yeah,
all of that you just mentioned, right?
yeah.
But what if would you disagree with Enzo and the Argentine squad if they come out and say there was no undertone to that? It
What I
was
did.
it was just a music, it was just a song, it was just a chant,
Oh,
No,
it was just a banter thing to get under the front. See, you would not agree to that, right?
yeah, yeah.
So what we are all saying is what you guys are the whip you guys are holding on to now is the fact that um the old because the lyrics of the song that was targeting the black people in terms of why didn't they play or why didn't they go back to their country and all of that, right? We all attend targeting that or terming that to be some sort of undertone racism. Is that what we are saying?
yes, because the French team isn't it's not just made up of African descendants, but they chose to go the African route.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there is the Argentine context of the country and how they view race. That's why we're saying
There's an yeah, that pause right
they
there.
could
There's a pause right there. There's an Argentine context too. But why so you are not just looking at the face value now. You are going deeper into the Argentine culture or the Argentine attitude or what's not, right? As
Mhm.
to now you are bringing that forward to put in like to put both the music and that undertone
It's
that you already
context.
have.
Because it's Argentinian players singing it, we're understanding, oh, they think we're still in 1974 where you can sing this. This not
But
1974.
but Papi, you and I could actually tell you and I could say that the likes of Bellingham, Saka, and the likes should go back to Africa to their country and represent their country for the
but
Afcon.
who
We
says
could
that's their country?
we could say that, right?
Yeah.
But the next man on the other side can't say that.
So yeah, but because we can say that, that does not make that not racist. That's
But
exactly
yes,
the point
it's
of
still
what we're talking
racist
How
about.
is that racist?
Rex,
How is that
Rex,
racist?
Rex,
because they
this
were
song
born in
was not,
England.
bro. This song was not about why. If it was targeting the whole French national team and included Griezmann, then we were having a different conversation because of Griezmann is like It's not about Africa. It's not about like mocking them about the identity. It's like, oh, they're just maybe it's just a
One
song
la-
that
okay, okay.
you know what I
One last
mean.
question to the two of you. So
Before
if
okay.
they had sang about Griezmann going back to Germany or something like that, would there have been an outcry like this?
Yes, because you still did not an outcry, not from the greater context of people.
Would there have been an outcry like this?
No,
Would one
I
second?
mean,
Wait one second? Would
that's
Cole
for the
Palmer? Would
that's for
Cole
the German
Palmer?
people. That's for the German people.
Who's a German person in the Chelsea squad? Let's take an European. Where an European just come out and send a message and be like, "Oh, you are not being sensitive." Blah blah. Would they do that?
no, but Drex, the problem you're doing is that you're ignoring historical context because that matters. And I'll give you an example for
That's
why.
the same problem. Okay,
No, it's
you
not.
could say
It's
it's a
not.
problem for me ignoring that, but I could say the same thing as it's a problem for
No,
you bringing
it's
that into
not
the forefront
because
for of
No, no,
this
no,
let's
no.
thing.
let's turn the
Now,
tables around.
now you are defending
It's
ignorance,
it's not.
Drex. Ignorance is
I'm
not.
not
Yes,
trying to
and that's
defend
and that's what.
ignorance. I'm just trying to be
That's what
I'm
you
just trying to
are.
be neutral on this point, like to make everybody see that fine, yes, they did something. I stated it. Yes, they did something wrong by dragging the France national team into a competition that they were not. If it was a World Cup, I could understand it, right? But I
Mhm.
understand now. This is my own disagreement with all of that they did is the fact that they brought France into a competition that's got nothing to do with France,
Yeah.
right? On that ground, you could charge them and do whatever you want to do. But saying calling the obvious that a lot of people have been calling talking about, you go everywhere. And so is it because a group of persons now said it, we want to hold onto it, whereas a lot of, even in our conversations, yes, a few persons have actually said, go back, like these guys should go play for their country. A few of us have, and nobody actually raised an eyebrow to it. Everybody just laughed and we just moved on.
Okay,
But,
let's hear the perspective of Kick It Out FC. I'm assuming this is about racism. Big up Kick It Out FC.
What's good, boys? What's good,
Oh,
boys?
perfect. He's a Chelsea supporter. Aha! We've been looking for you.
I'm here. What
That
is
voice,
Drax saying? What is
that
Drax
voice,
saying?
that voice sound familiar though.
He's yes, it's the voice of a Chelsea fan here.
Okay.
Let's hear what he has to say about
What
it too.
what
Cause
what,
like
what is Drax? What is Drax saying? Is Drax trying to play devil's advocate or what? What is
he's
that?
Drex is
I'm not playing devil advocate.
No,
I'm
no,
just calling.
no, no.
Drax. I hear everything that you're saying, but brother, between me and you, none of that works because they are not just singing about, oh, these people should go back and play for their country. If you, me, and bots say Saka should go back and play for Nigeria, that's different because we want the best quality to go back and help our continent. I have a different argument about that because I don't think as a continent we helped create those players. We didn't develop Saka, we didn't develop all those players. So it makes sense that England benefits. It makes
So,
sense that
uh,
France benefits.
kick it out 1 second. Kick it out 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on that thought. So we saying that
But 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 but
you
but
guys are saying it's not right, but
but let me
we
let
could
me
get
land
a
but let me
pass.
land the point. I did not say that it's not right. Hold on, let me land the point. The reason why it's problematic when we say racism, you and I and bots and whoever might be here, we
Joe
are
Blackman.
we
right.
are.
Know
Look
my
at him.
name, blood. Know my
Hey,
name,
hey,
fam.
hey, Virginia,
Know my
Joe Blackman,
name,
and everybody
blood.
else in the chat, big up, right?
Yeah,
But the point is,
exactly.
but the point is, this has only become an issue because it is happening between two very identifiable, clear races. It's not. It's not like you know.
Mm,
It's not like people from Nigeria sang a song about people from France and said, "Hey, come home,"
Yeah.
right? So the fact that already there's this side and side comparison that's happening, there's already an othering that's happening, and like someone has already said, this did not involve the white contingent in the French national team. Why didn't they sing about Griezmann? Why didn't they mention Rabiot? Why didn't they mention Theo Hernandez? Right?
right.
Why did they only single out the players of African descent? Why did they talk about the fact that they ran very fast? That's already a black stereotype. So I can excuse them in saying a lot of these players from Argentina are very young, not the most educated people on earth because they are footballers and they probably spent a lot of their time playing football, right? So they are not probably educated on
Yeah.
cultural
Race.
sensitivity issues and whatnot. And it's like it's a fun song to sing. So I can excuse them in saying yes, they might be ignorant about what this song could mean, but it does not make it right. If
Joe,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
let's hear Joe Blackman's. Are you also with the apologist view of Drex? Drex is an apologist. Where are you, Joe?
I'm not going to say apologist, right? But I'll tell you this right now, right? I'm going to say this. When I first heard some of the words of the song, I was actually in Drex's camp. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
was at first. Yeah. But then I thought about what happens in this country. Because look, I'm in England, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What happens immediately when Saka misses a penalty?
Racial
When
abuse.
no, they say this ain't our England. I don't recognize this England. Monkey emojis, go back to where you came from. All of this happens, yeah? And let's put this into context right now, yeah? Look, we've all spoken. I've even spoken about the likes of Greenwood going back to play for Jamaica. I loved it when what's his name that plays for West Ham? Sorry.
Mikel
Antonio.
Antonio.
Antonio, he was English one season on FIFA, the next season he was Jamaican. You get me? I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I love this, yeah. But what
Yeah,
I'm saying to you is the context behind the song is what really changed my mind. Because at first I was like, there's nothing wrong with them saying that. I can't lie to you, but the first time I heard it, yeah, I was like, there's nothing wrong with them saying that they should go back and play for the country. They're not lying. They're
yeah,
not wrong. Like you're from here, you're from there, you're from here, but you play for France. Ha ha. They're laughing, innit? Yeah. But
yeah.
then it's the rest of it. When you think about it, yeah. Look, people are proud of where they come from, where they grow up, and who they're friends with, and what they've done in their life, and how they've got to the positions they're in it. So singing on people's life and their sexual orientation and the way that they've been grew
Preferences. Yeah,
up, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's that's the bit there that you're going out of line, isn't it? Yeah,
Mm.
stereotypes are stereotypes and whatever. And yes, we all know the facts of the matter is that lots of people play for different countries where they don't, where their families don't originate from. But a lot of those kids they're born in that country. Yeah,
That's all they.
they're born there. So what makes them any less English than the guy you're sitting next to, whose Italian parents came to Argentina, bro? Let's
Yeah,
be real. Yeah, half of you people who are living in Argentina, you go and do your family tree history, bro. Yeah, half of you come from Italy and other places. Don't talk rubbish. You don't even know where you come from. Immigration is everywhere. Yeah,
Thank
mm,
you.
mm,
immigration is everywhere, blood. Yeah,
yeah,
even places I don't think black people should be. There's a black person,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
But there's people that you know what drives me crazy, bro. This whole thing is over. Um, Misunderstanding how people feel
Yeah.
about a song because you would there's no way that you would be live streaming something that you cannot edit, you cannot watch back, you
yeah,
cannot change when it's out there. You wouldn't live stream it unless you thought it was okay to sing. So when you say about education, it's education that's needed as well. But you know what's needed? It's also just like, how could you live in England, bro, and play with French players on your team that are clearly from African descent, like Badia Shield and that, yeah, and think
yeah,
it's all right to sing that? That's what I don't understand. That's where I think people say that footballers, they're not that educated and blah blah blah. But you know what? I say this right now: they're educated enough to be around the whole world. You are international. You know that you're international. So singing an offensive song to even one nation, you're stupid. Where's your advisors? Yeah?
yeah, yeah,
Where's your
Yeah.
brain?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's me on it. That's what
Can
I
I
yeah,
think.
also
Can
can I
I say
also offer a
something to
different
that?
perspective?
yeah.
Okay, go ahead,
Well,
Vegeta, go ahead.
I'd like to switch it on its head because in South Africa we've got an opposite phenomenon where black people want the Afrikaners of our country to go back to their people, and that itself is also racist in the sense that these people were born on African soil. Yes, their descendants are German, um, Dutch. So when you're asking them to go back to what? Because they
yeah,
didn't grow up in those homelands. They only know the African soil. So that's what makes them South African
Can
or
can
African.
can, can I
And
can
that
I can
wait,
I
sorry. Let me just
Benita,
finish what I'm saying, and
can
then
I can
and then I'll hand it
Veg-
over. Sorry. Let
oh,
me
okay,
just
go ahead.
finish, and then I'll just mute. My point being is that it on face value it might not sound like anything wrong is being said, but who are we at the end of the day to determine what the nationality of people is, and because or what their experience is, because their experience is not those African countries, and at the end of the day, you want them to go back to something that they've got no context of. It goes beyond football. And how far are we willing then to go to say people must go back? Because even my ancestry is not from Sesotho people can be traced back to Northern Africa. Must
yeah.
I go back to Northern Africa? How far are we willing
No,
to go back? That's
yeah.
just my point. The undertones of it is the problem, not the actual words. I rest my case.
Eh, okay, let's go to Kick Out FC and then Drex afterwards.
Yeah, no, I was only going to say, to what Vegeta is saying, that, you're right. I think a lot of the time it's difficult to do these, like, comparisons to, what's happening to, say, uh, African immigrants, in the world versus, like, say, the Afrikaners in South Africa, because historically the power dynamics are different, right? Afrikaners came to South Africa and they basically took over. And even though they were the minority, they were the powerful minority on a land
Yes,
that they did not own, that they were not indigenous to, right?
correct.
Whereas a lot of the time, when black people have been in any place other than Africa, it doesn't matter whether they are the minority or the majority, they tend to not have the power, right?
100%.
And I think that power dynamic is also really an important thing to consider. So, like, it's a very different thing from someone saying to a black person in the US, go back to where you came from. That's different to, I'm not saying it's right. That's important to know.
That is a
But
different. Yeah.
there's a difference between that and somebody in South Africa saying to an Afrikaner, go back to where you come from. Um, the settler colonial, let's not even get into that.
No,
For
no,
me,
you're right.
I think this, while this conversation is important, I think a larger conversation about racism in football needs to happen, and this is what I think needs to, like, a lot of the time we talk about racism only because somebody in the, like some stupid fan maybe threw out a banana or like made a monkey, sign, or something, or people are making noises in the stadium and players get upset, and that's the only time we talk about racism. But we rarely ever talk about the actual, like, institutional racism that's happening in the game, you know like,
Mhm.
take the Premier League, for instance. How many black players are in the league? A lot. A whole lot. How many black owners of Premier League teams do you know? How many, like, actual successful black administrators do you know in football at the top level? How many black coaches can you find in the Premier League? Or not even just black, right? People of color. How many Asian coaches do you find? How many, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So
so I think
that's yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think
I hear that, and it's a larger question of just like
right.
uh,
And I
it's
think institutionally, the game in and of itself has so much work to do, which will eventually trickle down to the audience. I mean, to the fans, because it's it's easy for us to look at the fans and the players. Frankly, in the institution of football, yes, they are the face, but they are probably the least influential people in the game. And in the places where actual power exists, not a lot of, you know, diverse voices exist in those spaces. And I think that's where the change needs to happen so that it trickles down. It will affect the way teams, clubs shape themselves. It will affect the way clubs actually train their fan base. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm a Chelsea fan, and sometimes I'm not very proud to be a Chelsea fan because our fans do some stuff, even though we
yeah,
have a history of actually having a lot of black players in our team, right? So there's a lot of education that needs to be done across board.
yeah.
And I'm glad that, Enzo's moment has brought this conversation up, but I think that there's a lot more conversation that needs to happen, a much larger one.
Sure. Big up to Nick, by the way, who's just joining in. It's not the lightest conversation right now. We're talking about the racist song that sparked outrage and that was sung by the Argentinian, some of the players from that play for the Argentinian national team. And by the way, Brendan, I was not ignoring your comments, but I hope you found the lyrics, but because I know you were looking for them earlier on. But some of the lyrics loosely translate to this: they play in France, but they're from Angola. They're going to run well. They sleep with trans people. Mom is Nigerian, dad is Cameroonian, but on the passport it says French. Drex, you are about to say something, brother. This song is not too bad for you.
Let me just point it out. What can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me just what Kickout FC actually said in terms of education and getting these things to go round and making, because it feels like it's supposed to start from the top, but they are dealing with racism from the bottom, right?
Mhm.
No, I should get this clear. Let anybody think I'm one racist apologist or not. No, I just want to see were exactly while the people, why there's so much outrage on a song that I, in my opinion, didn't deem it to be that, right?
Mhm.
But now, when you look at the lyrics, one could actually play it the other way around and say they are actually undermining the fact that the French in itself, the French national team, can function without the black people. So if you take out these guys away from the French squad, then whatever is left, they can't deal
Drex,
well with it.
Drex,
No,
Drex.
no, no. I'm not dwelling on that. I'm just saying we could play it that way as well, right?
Okay.
But we're not going to go that way. I'm just saying, for me, we are
And then what about the part about the trans people, the sexual
we are
preference?
bring we are bringing, in my opinion, I think what was happening, that we are bringing the foreknowledge of what all the Argentine people are, bringing it into this scenario, right, and making it what it is right now. So for me to just draw the line right before I finally leave is, if you and I can say Pogba should come play for should not pl- should come play for it, and I think Pogba is from Angola if I'm not mistaken, one of them countries, right?
Yeah.
Should come, if you and I can say that, and we say it's okay because we are blacks, we could say that to the next person, right? But someone else can say, why don't we just erase that line out of it and just say no black person can say this, no white person can say this.
Context,
I
brother.
actually agree with
No, 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 no.
These
If you want,
Contextualizing.
see,
these
it's like
blanket statements.
swearing, right? It's like swearing between you yourself and your like using the curse word between you and your mate, and your kids are there. And you're telling your kids, don't swear, it's not good. But you're doing it right in
Yes,
front of the.
because I'm an adult with my friends. The kids, they have their time. When they grow up and they are with their friends, they can swear. There's context, bro. We can't
Please,
forbid
please.
everything can be the same.
I'm not trying to remix the song, bro. I'm not trying to remix.
He
Even
is.
even when I heard it the first time, the Spanish one, then somebody translated to English, and I'm like, okay, where? And I was like, where is this? Is it that, okay? On another thought, is it that Enzo Fernandez doesn't know that? Of course, he knows he has black people in his squad, in the Chelsea squad. So so to him, maybe because this is not the first time this song has come up in the World Cup, they sang this same song, right?
But it
And
was the fans, as far as we know. Maybe it was they sang it and they
okay,
didn't
okay,
live
it was the
stream it.
fans. So
As far as we know, maybe the
so
players also sang it in the bus and they
but
didn't have
we
they
didn't, they
were
didn't, but the likes of Fofana and them likes in the Chelsea squad, did they have a sit down with Enzo Fernandez and like, yo, that song that your country men are
what
singing, it's not a fine one? Or is it, so it's for Enzo to have gone live, it means that for him, and he shouldn't, I'm not taking a whip off him, he should be held accountable for his action, responsible for his action.
sure,
So every action there's a consequence, right? But I'm
sure.
saying, for him, he needs to be enlightened now to an extent and say, okay, you can't even say anything black right now with the way it's going.
It sounds like Enzo Fernandez needs to spend a weekend with every Chelsea player that's black at the house. We for him to and Drex should be invited.
What do you want him to get flogged?
Can I just say something?
No, but like no,
He will
seriously.
get
I think
flogged.
okay. Without joking, but like I think the question that I'm trying to drive this conversation to is now, what's the appropriate way to deal with this? Like
Consequences.
I've
You cannot deal with it from the bottom when the top is still rotten.
so we shouldn't deal with it from the top.
No,
Like
no,
okay,
no, no, no. I'm not saying we shouldn't deal with it
Well,
at
I
all. I'm
mean,
saying, like,
yeah,
what was he kick it out FC that was saying, right?
yeah,
He highlighted black. We have black players in the EPL. No
yeah,
black, no black managers, right? No
yeah,
black owners. I,
yeah,
I can even say to a larger extent, no black referees,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so what is this? If you want to say there's a systemic racism in that, like, doesn't it tell you it's coming from the top? So
Sure,
if we
but
can,
there's an opportunity where football can make a statement, bro, and
bro,
actually help.
brother Papi,
Yes.
there have been in several incidents in the past that football could actually use to making their case strong when it comes to racism. Nothing has been done, bro.
So,
This is
so I
this is
guess we
no
shouldn't do
this is a
anything.
no 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 we should, because this is a fight that would continue. We'll keep fighting till
Mhm.
everybody finally takes their last breath and go back to where they came from.
No, no, no,
I
no, no.
I
Well,
would
one
like
second, one second.
go
Before,
ahead,
no,
Joe.
no, 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 no. 1 second. I've got to say something on that. Yeah.
Please.
In this case, yeah, this is the problem with racism and stuff like that, right? Look, racism will always exist, okay? Whether it be at the top or at the bottom or in the middle. It don't matter where it is, it's always going to be there somewhere, okay? But what I'm trying to say to you is this, yeah? Tolerance and acceptance of people is one thing that everybody should practice, yeah? There's things that we don't agree with in life, just in general, yeah? Just in general, like there's other things that I'm not going to speak of right now that I don't agree with that's going on in the world today. Yeah, but acceptance of what people want to do and what where people come from and how people are raised is something that everybody needs to be acceptant of in life. Yeah, and because where someone comes from and what someone chooses to do with their life doesn't affect you and
Yes.
how you live your life. So why do
Yes.
you have to speak on it so much? Yeah. Another thing, yeah, with the whole with the whole systemic racism thing in football and whatnot, and in just general life, yeah, you're not
Yeah.
going to change it by generalizing it and talking about it starts at the top, it starts at the bottom. No, you got to
Yeah.
look at each individual case as it comes and deal with it right then and there. Yeah, and for me,
Yeah.
this Enzo Fernandez situation, we already seen that his country they don't give a ish. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't
Yes.
give a ish. So where it needs to be handled is at club level. Yeah, you need to show them that the UK is not on the same level as Argentina when it comes to this racism shit. Yeah, your
Yes.
American owner must be used to black people. England is used to black
What happened
people.
to
England is
Joe's
used to
mic now?
every
Joe,
Joe,
color
your
in the
mic
Joe,
world,
again.
bruv. Yeah.
Joe, your mic is telling you something.
Uh,
Racism.
the powers that be. Oh wait, I would love to say the R word on YouTube though.
uh,
Of course we
you
are.
know
This
what?
is
Yeah. Look,
yeah.
because I was cooking, they had to stop me. Can you hear me properly now?
Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
please don't burn the food, please.
Sure.
you sound like you're
Don't make the
far.
food black.
Okay, you know what? I'll stop because you know what? You know what it is? It's not even the mic. You know what it is? It's this damn Evie Mux is burning up my phone. You know what? I'm gonna switch to the computer. Might be
You're
kind of
good. You're good. You're
show
good.
going on for, but
Now
You're
you're
It's
good
back.
better
right
Now
now.
now.
you're
It's
back.
better
Yeah,
now.
it's perfect.
you can hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
you back. You back, bro.
Yeah, yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't remember what I was saying. I was cooking.
No, no, you were saying that they should like even whilst the Argentine people are not seeing any problem with it, right? Enzo Fernandez and the likes, and should be made known that it's not something that we would tolerate at this in this part of the world, like this the Europe, the
Yeah, that's
England,
where I
yeah,
was.
yeah,
Yes, that's where I was. Sorry, let me finish off that point. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, really. Yeah, because we need. I mean, as a country, they've already decided where they stand, right? So as a club, Chelsea need to decide where they stand as well, right? And
Yeah.
look, they've got ambitions of signing further French players in the future. They can't be seen as a club that's going to just ignore something like this, right? Look,
Yeah.
for me, you have to like. I'm not gonna keep saying this, Drex. You can't keep talking about this whole start at the top and it's always going to be the no. Every case, I'm going to address every case. And every case needs to be dealt with differently. I don't want to hear no more fines. I don't want to hear more slaps on the wrist. People need to be like, listen, bro. Enzo, go and sing that song in front of your brethren then at Chelsea. Go and do it right now. Sing it in front of his face. Go on. Would you have done that? No, you won't do it because you know it's offensive. There you go. Yeah. But you want to do it when you're around your fellow peers who think it's acceptable. These are the things that people get caught up in. Have you ever heard of peer pressure? Yeah. I'm not saying that he got pressured into doing it, but what I'm saying is that when you're around certain people that think a certain way, you are thinking things are acceptable to do a certain way, even when you know that they're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have to hide and do something, guess what? You shouldn't be doing it. This is a
Exactly.
family saying of mine.
but
Yeah.
the
If you
man
got to
didn't
hide
hide,
and do
bro.
something, you
The man
shouldn't
didn't
be doing it.
hide. The man did not hide. I get you when you say
No,
if
but
you
what I'm
can't say
saying
it in
is,
front.
well, guess
I know,
what?
and
He was
I
on the
get
bus,
you.
yeah, but he thought he was safe.
I get you when you say if he can't say it in front
That mob
of his brethren,
mentality.
yeah, in front of his brethren in Chelsea, right? Then he
Yeah.
shouldn't be saying it even while he's in the bathroom by himself,
Yeah.
right? So I get all of that. I get all of that. But my thing
Exactly.
is, what would you want Enzo? What would be okay? You find it very like you guys find it very very bad. So what would be the capital punishment for Enzo? What would be satisfactory in terms of his punishment?
Well, for me, he need look. I don't know what the club's gonna do, but if they slap him with a fine, I don't want to hear it, bro. And if they slap him with a fine, I want it should be the whole goddamn year, bro. That somebody's pockets. If he's going to talk about they want to hurt his pockets, bro, hurt his pockets properly in it because a footballer won't suffer from losing a week's wages, will they? Yeah, I
No.
need. They need to be look reprimandable. Look, in every company, yeah, and football is a business. Let's remember this, yeah. In every company, there are certain rules and certain regulations that you are not allowed to break, bro. Yeah, the standard of conduct and all of that when you're at a workplace, right? You can't go around walking down the aisles of your office workplace shouting off this and that racism comment racism to somebody to anybody in the office just randomly shouting it, could you can't do that. So at the end of the day, you've publicly been caught out saying something that is unacceptable in your country that you work in. It might be acceptable in the country that you come from, but guess what? The country that you work in is not acceptable. So they need to find a solution that is not a slap on the wrist. And I want to see this man being either taken. You know, like when people was talking about if Greenwood could come back, he has to be shown that a way that he's, further changed himself and stuff like that. Same way, bro. You're gonna come back to this club. How are you gonna show what he needs to think about? How are you gonna show your teammates?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you gonna show your teammates that they don't think that, so they don't think that way of you no more? That's what you've got to think about. That's what you really got to think about. Yeah.
He's gonna take some cultural sensitivity classes. He's gonna complete a course. I was actually not joking about the thing about spend a weekend at with all the French players of African descent at Chelsea Football Club. He needs to like know that the actual people with feelings, and next time he will not sing that song again.
No, no, it's not
Wait,
even
wait.
about knowing that people with feelings, bro. Do you know what he needs to go ask them before we go? Let me just hit that point. Before he goes, he needs to ask them, why do you feel French?
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a
No,
very
that's
good
a better
question.
question,
That's a
bro.
better question.
Because
Yeah.
if he comes up, look, at the end of the day, you need to know what it means to them, why
yes,
they choose to play for France. Yeah,
yes,
bro, listen to me. I grew up in France. My family, I'm third generation in. You talk about I'm from Angola, bro. I've never been to Angola in my blood seed life. Do you know what I'm saying? I went there, they call me French boy. They don't talk to me that like you know what I'm saying? I'm from Jamaica, bro. Let me give you a little bit of history. Yeah, I was
yes,
born in Jamaica. Yeah,
mm,
you clearly know I live in England from my accent. Yeah,
yeah,
I go back to Jamaica. They call me English boy. Yo, English boy, welcome to you. Welcome, an English boy. Yo, yeah.
mhm,
And I'm
mhm,
like, but I was born here, fam. What you talking to, fam? Yeah, your mum lives in America too, fam. What you talking about? You shut up, and you shut up, yeah. But
yeah,
what I'm saying is that feeling of nationality and everything like that, bro. It's a feeling of belonging as well. So for you to
Yeah.
be dissing somebody's feeling of belonging, that's when I was like, do you know what? I'm wrong for thinking the way that Drex was thinking. That's what I came to the conclusion of. Yeah,
yeah.
because you know what? You can't take away the feeling of someone's belonging.
An
Longing, yes.
identity. Yep.
Sorry, and that was my point earlier. I wasn't. The power dynamics is important, but my point always was we can't take away people's sense of where they come from because you are wanting to play historian. Because then my question remains: how far do you want to go with it? Because
Yeah.
if we trace it, you'll find out some pretty interesting stuff about your own ancestry. Then what? But you can't associate with those things because your context, your family is who your family is, your friends, everything about where you come from affects and molds you into who you are. It breeds familiarity. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying?
mhm,
It's so
mhm.
that's for me, that's the context I was coming from. And to I don't know, people are probably gonna go off after this because he said, what should be the punishment that fits the crime? I find it amazing how in football we take failing drug tests far more seriously than
That
discrimination.
racism.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we're winning.
No, no. Now you're coming back to my territory where I said that I know you people said you want to deal with it case by case, but you're coming back to where I'm saying it's got to be people at the top have to take it serious.
Yeah.
No, 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 Drex. You know what it is. I fully agree with you, but you have to look at things in two ways. I don't think you need to. It has to be one or the other. I think it can be both. I think yes, it has to happen at the top, but that's more of a longer term thing because it might not even happen in our lifetime. But in the present tense, we also still have to deal with Enzo and his
Yeah.
teammates in the
Yeah.
current term. And where I was going with this was to say that if doping, which is cheating, is treated with so much animosity that we're going to give a player, for example, like Pogba, who's a recent person who broke a law like this. What is it?
Recent.
4 years for doping. Discrimination is also just as important, if not more, bro. Why can't you take away 4 years of playing time for that as well, so that it sends a real message? Because honestly, what
Is it
what is finding a millionaire gonna do to them? They're just gonna make that the next week.
that is a strong
Vegeta,
point,
that
brother.
is a strong punishment, right? But that in itself, um, they wouldn't let it fly. They won't. It's gonna be. That's why I said I'm going back again. I know. I say I agree with all what you guys are saying, dealing with it case by case. But if you want to send a strong message, I believe this punishment that you just suggested now, right, should be one that they should be looking at, right? But they wouldn't until they take it seriously. Those, like I think Papi was saying when this show started, those kneeling down, raising, bro. Those are just acting, bro. Those
Hmm. The
until
sport
somebody at the
say
top
no to
decides to
racism billboard.
yeah, until somebody
Yeah.
at the top decides to say, okay, you know what, discrimination should be met with the same um
It's a crime. You
yeah,
know.
it should be met with the same intensity, or what they call it, as doping, right?
Yeah.
As even as because right now even gambling, right?
I'm sorry. Can I say something to that?
Go ahead, bro.
I mean, while I hear that, yes, like I don't want to sound like a racism apologist because I'm definitely not, obviously. But
Just speak. It's
it
cool.
it
We're talking,
it's
innit? Truth is
but
truth.
I don't think the two things are comparable.
Frank Lampard.
I
What
be
two things?
like doping
Doping and
and
racism.
they are not, because doping clearly has an impact on the sporting integrity, like on the actual sport. Someone is gaining an unfair advantage in the sport by doping.
Yeah.
Racism is different in that, yes, like it impacts the social fabric of the players in the game and people's mindsets and whatnot, but it's hard to actually prove that it has any direct impact on the actual sport itself. That's why I
I'm,
think,
I'm not gonna lie. As much as they're incomparable, the more we keep thinking like this is the reason why people are gonna keep
It'll
turning the
keep
other
happening.
way. There
no,
Yeah.
needs to
but
be
but I'm saying,
something that
but
you
See,
have
okay,
to issue.
Vegeta, the
let me
capital
let me finish
punishment
the
should be
point.
what Mr. Popo is saying. Do it
Let me
that
finish
way.
the let me finish my point.
No, no,
All
no.
By the
all
way,
I'm trying
Mr.
to say
Popo is the
is
biggest racist character in the world, by the way.
all,
You
all
know
I'm
what I mean?
all I'm trying to say is, yes,
But
treat racism the way it should be treated,
yeah.
but it doesn't. You don't have to use doping
Why am I
as
hearing
your
the
guide.
echo?
Like it could
Hold
be
on.
it could be that Enzo is banned for 5 years and it might be justifiable, but it
Okay.
shouldn't be because Pogba got banned for 4 years for doping.
No, you see, that's the problem, though. I was using that as an example to say that it feels like certain issues they care about them a lot more than others. I'm not saying that they're comparable. Obviously, these are two separate issues, and you need to deal with them case by. I'm not going to say that a person who steals must get the same punishment as a person who kills, but there still needs to be a punishment of sorts that is serious enough. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying.
I think
Trying.
I
I'm
think
giving,
there will
I'm
be.
giving you an example to say that I
I
need to
think
see
there
some
will be.
action that actually that shakes the fabric of the way things are, because that's what revolutions are built on. They're
I
built
wanted
on.
to hear the perspective of Luen, who is just in the background. Luen, if you're
Oh,
still here and you wanna closing up this conversation in the next five
my
minutes,
bad.
but please come back in. Sorry, I should have interrupted you, visitor. But go ahead
Was
and
Llewyn here? Oh, rude.
My
yeah, Luen, please
rude.
come back.
My
We need
bad.
to hear
My
what you
bad.
were saying.
No, but
Yeah,
what I was trying to say is don't focus on the example. What I'm trying to say is how serious is this to us? Because that will then tell us by the punishment you dish out. I'm not saying use the doping thing as a barometer, because like you're saying, that thing affects the actual sport and whatever. But what I'm trying to say is if they say to us tomorrow, oh, we're giving him 100,000 fine and he's sorry, I'm sorry. Anybody can say sorry and not mean it. Have you ever heard people who cheat? They are very sorry all the time, but they keep cheating.
So my thing is, I think what matters in this case actually more than anything is how Chelsea handles it internally. Is how, and by internally I mean how Enzo's relationship with the French contingency in the Chelsea squad actually is impacted. That will say a lot more to me about whether or not Enzo is grown has grown, in this situation. If, like, yes, we can punish Enzo and say you have a 5 month ban, right? Or like you have a full season ban or like something, whatever. Um, and whoever many Argentinian players were also involved, right? You can say you're all banned. If
We're gonna have a problem if that happens.
right,
Yeah, you mean at United as well, right?
right,
Oh hell yeah!
And
because Enzo, we
I
keep talking
can't do
about
it without Lisandro Martinez again.
we
Another
we
season.
we keep
Uh
Okay, let
oh.
on spot.
we
Let
we
kick out FC speak. I'll just drop mine.
we keep talking about Enzo, but we forget this was a whole bus full of
Yeah,
It's true.
people,
yeah,
It's true.
right?
And
yes.
And the question
After
is,
you, bro,
yes,
we're
like,
gonna hear Luen. Yeah,
if we ban everybody, then where are people going to go? I think what needs to happen is, like you were saying, a real, like, face to face needs to
yes.
happen between Enzo
A dialogue.
and the French players, right? I think there is still going to be some kind of punishment. Maybe Enzo might be benched for a few games or something. The FA or maybe FIFA might come in and maybe punish the Argentinian FA at that level. But at an individual level, Chelsea is going to take care of Enzo. That is certain. Chelsea have made that clear. They are going to initiate a disciplinary action against Enzo because they did their
they have to.
investigation, and Enzo is going to be disciplined internally. Beyond
Right.
the discipline, there needs to be reconciliation. That, for me, that's the key thing. If reconciliation doesn't happen, Enzo doesn't grow and the world doesn't get better.
Yeah. Let's hear Luen. Luen, where are you in this conversation, Lu? I'm gonna unmute you, and if you can just speak, because there was a little bit of an echo. That's why I muted you. So you're muted right now. If you can find the unmute, sorry, I can't automatically unmute you. Well, just give
Womp,
me a.
womp,
Oh
womp.
no, that's not Luen. I thought that was me. Give it like 5 seconds. Luen, if you can hear us, unmute yourself because I put you on mute and I unfortunately cannot unmute you. Ah.
Look what you did. Look what you did, Puffy. This
Today's
is your
stream
fault.
there was too many sound issues, you know.
The microphones are all racist.
All racist. They don't want to let us speak. Let me talk.
uh,
Jeez. Yeah, Joe. Imagine now this spilling over to now Man United players. That's the and the
No,
punishment
but
being really
but
tough.
but Papi, it has to. It has to because oh
Sure.
yes, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, he
Speak.
can.
Oh, that sounds like YouTube.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
yay!
Just speak.
Just speak. Just speak.
Yeah.
Just
Don't
talk
Contextual.
and
don't
we'll
But
be
I can't
quiet.
hear you. I don't. Okay. So the funny thing is, with this Evermax thing, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Just speak on the topic, Luen. We're here now.
Okay. I'm just going to say something and then I'm just going to get out because honestly, I can't hear what's happening through my earbuds or anything. And I've got you on the TV. I could see you on the TV. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. I had a few points and I'm just going to talk, then I'm going to go because that thing annoys me. Okay, so I first heard of this on ESO, right? Um, I wondered what it was, like didn't have the translation or anything. But honestly, I felt a bit like Rex at the translation because of the whole Africa won the World Cup thing from 4 years ago. Um, when I thought more deeply on it, I had a pretty quick change of mind. Um, I realized it's ingrained in the Argentine society, this whole racism thing. I looked deeper at the fact that there are practically no Black people in Argentina. I looked at the fact that there hasn't been a Black Argentinian in the World Cup from I can't remember how long. And I
90.
thought, okay, I understand. Now I say this whole thing, it's ingrained in the Argentine society. Um, the thing about it is, I have a feeling that when Enzo Fernandez was so happy to do this in front and for the world to see, he probably felt deep inside that there wasn't anything wrong with it. It's what he was growing up seeing and learning from, how many generations ahead of him. And that right there is the problem, right? Um, he that is why he was so quick to put it on a live of all things, right? Um, it's funny that R10 mentioned Trevor Noah, and I was thinking the same thing. Oh, this is funny, you know. I was thinking this is funny, but being born in the Caribbean, being born in the Caribbean, I remember growing up. I genuinely thought that I was less than the white person because that is the society that I grew up in. I felt like the lighter you are, the better you are.
Yeah.
The darker you are, the less you are. And it is sad because we're all human beings and we should never, never.
Oh, you were cooking and the microphone was racist or the Wi-Fi. Because Luann, you're
Nah, you know
wrong.
what it is, bro.
Yeah.
Evie Mux is murder on a phone.
Yeah, I shouldn't have set it up here, but you know what? It is what it is. But I like the
I
point that
mean,
she was getting at about identity and like where you grow up and where what you're exposed to. Like a lot of people, even like where my home village, there's the word for an English person is more or less given the idea of like something better.
Yes.
So there was this racial inferiority complex that I ended up actually sort of unpacking when I mentioned earlier on when I was in Hong Kong. There was a time when I
mm,
was just like, in class we were struggling to understand what the teacher is saying, but then maybe I would get it first, and then like another Asian kid would get it, and then a white person that was in the class would be like, "Yo, Bots, what is it?" And I'm like, "Whoa!" I had a moment. I even called my mom. I was like, "Mom, I'm explaining concepts to white people. Like what but it was just a complex that I was just unpacking at that moment, not knowing that
yeah, but
that
look at that though. Look at that. Look at what you just did
But
there. Look at what you
human,
did in
right?
your life. Yeah,
yeah,
what you just did there
yeah,
was already think that
I was less.
no, 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 no.
What?
That you called your mom to say, "I just impressed a white person."
Yeah,
Think
yeah,
about that.
yeah, yeah.
Why the hell did you need to do that? Did he think he was
Because
better than you before?
yeah, that's
You
what
see
I
what I'm
grew up.
saying?
Yes,
You see what I'm saying?
that's
That's
because
exactly
Why?
the point that
that
Luan.
Joe
Go
is
ahead.
Yeah,
because
Luan, take it away. Take it away. Yeah, you're back.
she
yeah,
can't hear you. She
that
like a delay.
is because we we're in our brains we're made to think that in our brains from birth we're made to think that we're so much less than you know we're so much less than and we grow up with that kind of thing. Yes. Well, okay. mute my stream on the TV. I could do that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go back to where I was. The reason I turned the screen on the TV on, Joe, is because I can't hear through my earbuds. So when
I
Pappy
didn't say
started
it.
talking, I started turning it up. Okay. So yeah, growing up with that complex. So turn it the other way, right? Enzo Fernandez didn't think anything was wrong with what he was doing. However, he needs to learn that it's not okay, right? He needs to learn that it's not okay. And that's why I say sensitivity training is important, right? In this case. And growing up, if you grew up with all white people around you, you think your shit don't stink, to be honest. I'm sorry, right? And that is
I
the
don't know.
problem,
I
right?
grew up
He
around
grew
white
up
people. I don't feel that
thinking,
way.
you know what? This is who I am and this is who we are. And then you look at the oh my gosh, doctor wrote something there and it just threw me.
Don't look at the comments. Just focus on your thoughts and then just
Oh my
run
god.
through them, Luan.
Anyway, yeah, he grew up with just one way of thinking. And when he grew up with that way of thinking, he I can't hear you, Pappy. So no sense. You're asking me to wrap it up? Not if you are.
Keep going. Keep going. Just go through your points. Don't look at the comments. That's all I was
Okay.
trying to say.
So
Yeah.
anyway, um I Pappy at the beginning, he mentioned the history of Argentina and he gave a few things that you could Google, right? And if he could put them in the chat or something, or just mention them again, it would give people like Brendan some understanding of what is happening or why we feel the way we do. Drex, I have a question for you. Have you experienced racism in Canada, covertly or overtly? Have you? I'm going to turn the TV on and hear what his response is.
Do you know what the funny thing is? I don't even need to hear his response. I'm going to answer for him. I'm going to say the answer is yes. Go on, Drex, talk.
So see, I've actually experienced racism in St. Kitts. To tell you how bad it is, St. Kitts. Not even can I have experienced it in Canada, but I tell you, in St. Kitts.
Hold on. Luan, you know what? Mute your microphone while you're listening on the TV, yeah?
Yeah, Luan, I muted you. I muted your microphone, so you might have to find the unmute button if you want to respond, or
To
you can
tell you
just
how
chat. But
to
yeah,
tell you how to tell you how bad it was when I was in St. Kitts. Yeah, it wasn't a white guy. A black guy told me to go back to my country, and I smiled, right? And because I was that day I was gonna get lunch, barbecue chicken and garlic bread, and there was this guy I was supposed to go to. The guy, I'm not selling to you. Go back to your country. Then this other brother just looked at me and like, yo, that's nasty. He called me over and and Canada. Yeah, I've actually tried to do something for a white guy, and the guy was like, don't touch me. Your black is gonna stain my skin.
oof,
Whoa,
Yep. He
whoa.
he 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 said that. He said that, and the wife was white. Obviously, she was like, "Please pay no attention to him," right? But I just it's because maybe I'm different because I don't let those things get to me because of now Luan was saying the way they grew up. Now they taught a certain way. I didn't. I experienced even I don't let those things get to me. Maybe that's me. That's
yeah,
why that's why you see me. You might I might people might look what's Drex smoking, right?
yeah,
It's just me. I don't let what people's perception of me get to me. It's what I think about
Do you know what?
myself.
yeah.
I'll tell you something, Drex. Yeah, you have a darker skin complexion, correct?
Yeah,
Burnt
Drex
burnt
is a new.
burnt burnt complexion.
No, no.
Burnt, not
Listen, I know, bro. I've seen your face. What I'm saying to you is this, yeah? People of a darker complexion, yeah? People of a darker complexion, we even experience racism within our own race,
There's
yeah?
true.
We've,
that's true.
we've had to learn, yeah? Look, when I was in school, do you know my name, Joe Black? Yeah?
Yeah,
Only because people used to call me my own race used to tell me I was too black when I was in school, fam.
Mm,
Imagine that. Imagine
Joe,
that.
Joe,
Imagine that.
I
even in
know,
our
bro. I know.
even in
Imagine
our
that. It wasn't white people saying it, you know. It weren't white people saying it. It was black people telling me you're black. I'm like, duh.
sorry, yeah, but Joe, I can also identify with that, bro, because even in South Africa, like Bots was saying, because of our history, obviously in the country, we've always looked at white people as the pinnacle. I don't know, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
to the point where when I'm successful in my life and my career, and I've got the same thing as quote unquote the white person, black people look at me and say, ah, ngamla, which means white person, big
Hmm.
boss. So I
Hmm.
can't just
uh,
I
It's
can't
a
just be a
synonym.
black
Yeah.
I can't just be a black successful person. And
Yeah.
it annoys me. I don't even want to swear, guys, but it's like, why can't I just be a successful person? Because success is associated with whiteness in my country. Because so I
not only
fully
that as well.
identify with what you're saying.
No, Vegeta, I
There's a way.
understand I understand your you guys, especially the from those from the South Africa and all. I understand that, right? What I'm just trying to say is, if okay, we're gonna go back to the Enzo, right? But what I'm
Yeah.
just trying to say is, for me, right? I've experienced it
Uh-huh.
not once, not twice, more than. So I just don't. It's like what Brendan said. It's not funny to me for a black man telling another black man to go.
No.
Like, it's not a funny thing, right? But
Yeah.
I don't let it get to me because, like, you're not better than me.
Yeah.
So don't because the minute I start thinking, okay, what he says is getting to me,
Yeah.
therefore means I'm already defeating. He's already defeated me. That's
Yeah.
my own that's how I see it, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my own understanding. That's my own mentality. So I just don't let it get to me. I understand when people, like, I understand what Luan is saying, what Vegeta is saying, what Joe is saying, what even Kick Out FC is saying. What you are saying,
Yeah.
but it's just from the point of, okay, I can't be everybody, but from my point of view, I don't let these things get to me. So that's when that guy told me, yo, this is not, I've even gone to somebody's house and told me, oh, um, you have to stay outside. I went in the capacity of
I beg your
observing.
pardon.
Yes,
You.
I went.
Yeah.
Wait, listen. I went in the
Say that
capacity of.
again.
Wait, let me tell
Somebody.
you. I went
Some.
in the capacity of, we were going to attend to a patient in their house, and the
Yeah.
man said, because I was with my boss, and the man said, you'd have to your guy have to stay outside.
So
My
hold on.
boss stood
You're
up to
going
him. My
to
boss.
help somebody, and they
So
told you to
so
wait
can
outside.
you paint this picture again properly for us, Drex? You're going with your
Yeah,
friends
bro. I need to
somewhere.
understand this properly.
No way. I'm going with my boss,
Your
my
boss.
senior.
To
Let
see
me not
what?
say my boss. In
Okay.
in the medical field, there's a hierarchy, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going with my a senior colleague
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
attend to
yeah.
somebody, right? And the person told my senior colleague that I can't let this man in my house. My senior colleague said, if
To
he's
see
not
what?
coming
What is
in
he
this
gonna do to
house,
help them
then
do?
I'm
There's an
going
echo,
out.
guys.
I muted Joe. I muted Joe. Sorry. I think the echo
So
is coming from him.
my senior colleague
Yeah.
said, my senior colleague is obvious white. So he said to this guy, if my colleague doesn't come in with me, obviously we are going out. We're not attending to you. We'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
You understand? We're not. So it made the guy think twice. And when we finished the procedure with the guy, we came out. We finished our dealing with the guy. We came out, and my colleague was asking me, "Hope you don't feel bad." Like, he was actually trying to apologize. I'm like, "Yo, I'm not feeling bad. Like,
Yeah.
those things don't get to me, right?" He was like, "But what the guy?" He was trying to apologize. You don't apologize for somebody else's mistake or ignorance. Don't do that. It's on
Mm.
the guy. The guy doesn't know better, right?
Yeah.
So I told him I really appreciate the fact that you stood up and you stood up for me and all of that. It didn't get to me. So I'm
Yeah.
not one of those people that will now go back and be like, "Ah, no, man, no, I won't feel less of myself." Because at that point in time, I know my worth. So if he didn't want me, might as well go get somebody else. And if they're not sending somebody else, obviously I'll be the one there to help him. If he doesn't want it, then he's just going to be in pain until he decides to have a rethink. And the
Yeah.
incident was taken up with the office,
Yeah.
and that guy was blacklisted.
Jeez.
That guy was
Nah,
blacklisted. and
I feel that.
to the point where
I bet
that
he didn't like that list.
that guy was
Oh God!
Dog, I was thinking that. I'm
no,
like,
no, it wasn't funny. That guy was blacklisted, and when he was being blacklisted, I was talking to the HR. I'm like, "Oh, but why are we going this?" He said, "No, for this guy
yeah,
to know that what he's doing." And I understand that's where the when you come bring it back to Enzo, Enzo
yeah,
has to now be in a room with his brethren, and
yeah,
they have to. Enzo just not just punishment. They have to be a dialogue where he has to now think. Maybe 24 years or 25 years, he still think he's a kid, but he now
yeah.
has to think that there are consequences of some certain actions, right?
Yeah,
Although
true.
what you were playing with, what you were singing to you, it didn't mean anything. You
True.
could stand on your ground and say it doesn't mean anything, but to this side of this side of the fence of the world, this part of the world, it's a whole lot different in terms of understanding and how they take it,
Yeah,
right? So in
yeah,
that on that ground, you have to now give Enzo a more another step of education. I'm like, yo, it's not just one way. It's not just how you think.
sure.
Because if the world was how we all each person thinks, then I don't think we'll be here.
We'll be
So
here at
it's
all.
we'd have to take everybody in together and everybody's thought process together and understand that we are all different, but we have to work in the same environment,
Yeah,
right? So
then we're
the
equal too, Drex. Yeah.
yeah, we are no, we are no. The thing about equality, I don't like to go into it because to me, nobody is God created everybody as one.
Yes. Yes.
It's it's we, it's the men in themselves that's making everybody feel like okay, I'm not. We are all equal. We just have to understand that in this, what you see as white, some other person sees it as gray. But and
Yeah.
you have to understand why they see it as gray, right? So you'd have
Yeah.
to take on with it, right? So it's not like we are forcing you. We're just telling you for everybody to work amicably for the common goal of in this case the team.
Yeah.
Then everybody have it's
Yeah.
not a case of bringing him down and elevating these people. It's a case of understanding both sides and say, okay, you know what you did was totally unacceptable.
Yes.
But you know
Big up
what?
to
Yeah,
you, Drex. Hold on, hold on.
sorry.
I wanna just say quickly, address something that Brendan said. By the way, Brendan, when I was
That's
laughing
what
earlier.
I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. But Luen is actually here to even speak for herself, so that I was not laughing to what Luen had said, but Luen is back with a different device, I believe. Hopefully, she can, be with us. But also, welcome Riley Taylor to this discussion. We'll come back to you, Riley. Let's hear if Luen is with us right now. Luen.
I am with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay! Drop a bomb! Drop a bomb!
All right. All right.
Okay.
All right. Luen.
You,
uh, do,
you know
do,
what?
you mentioned the phrase earlier on that said, I don't want to speak for you, but I think I know how in the context in which he used it. But Brendan was asking something, saying that,
Which phrase was that?
no,
Let Brendan ask the question, innit? Let Brendan ask. There it is.
Okay, I
yeah,
can't see the chat from here.
yeah,
Oh
okay,
Oh,
yes,
say it then, say
yes.
it then, bro.
No, no, no.
Read the
Yeah,
chat,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Read
I
it.
could. I could. I could.
yeah,
I could. I could. I'm using a different device. I'm
yeah,
using my tablet,
amazing,
and it. I could hear you. You could hear me. Everything's all good.
yes,
But it took a while to get here. My phone obviously doesn't connect to this thing. Not
yes. No,
right.
we're glad you're
Okay.
here. Yeah. So do you wanna quickly mention? So Brendan
Okay.
was
What was Brendan asking?
I think you said something. You were talking about like educating, just talking when we are talking earlier on about I think it might have been the racial inferiority complex discussion, and then from there maybe you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned something
Yeah.
like people like Brendan, and I think that line maybe Brendan didn't take it too well, because I was not laughing at that, Brendan, just so you know, but I don't want to also speak for you, Luen. Do you remember
Okay.
what I mean? Yeah. When you
I'm trying to remember, but I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Brendan, I meant absolutely no offense, none whatsoever. I was just referring to questions that you had, but you have to also understand that I couldn't hear very much. And when I turned the TV up where I had the stream so I could read the chat, I was trying to read the chat and I was way behind and all that kind of stuff. So I want you to understand that I meant absolutely No offense. And I'm sorry if you felt offended by anything that I said. I was simply trying to respond to something that you'd said.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you for addressing that, Lewin. Um, Before we even hear you further, I wanted to welcome Riley Taylor to this conversation. Chelsea fan in the house. He had his debut call yesterday, and he's here. Big up,
Yeah,
Riley.
yeah,
Wo-
bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing brilliant. Thank you very much. So let's talk Fernandez.
Yes, that's how we
If I
start.
if I if I was a Chelsea manager, I would
Mhm.
suspend him originally for 20 to 25 weeks. However, if I was going to look at the video content which was on there, I would suspend him for even more time because of what he has done. I'd probably fine him.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That's yeah, that's a good way to
But you
respond.
see, this is my problem, though. You see, finding someone like a footballer does that. Hitting them in the pocket doesn't really work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Or
This
maybe
is the
dock
thing.
his
Hitting them in the,
salaries. Dock his salaries. £25,000 a season. Dock his salaries, actually.
and and,
Scr-
and and the bigger thing too, Riley, is so that like Enzo knows why, so that when the time he's away from football, he can do some more like a little bit more
Research.
learning. So providing those facilities for him and also the rest of like the Argentinian national team as well. It's not just Enzo, by the way, but he's obviously the face because it was his Instagram live. But I really really appreciate you offering that perspective. Luan, we've been trying to close out the conversation. Lou,
Okay.
yeah, you were wanted to say something else, and then from there, everybody else gets a closing statement on this, and then we can wrap up the stream. I wanted to,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
What I was saying is I don't know about the docking his pay and all of that. I think sensitivity training is what's necessary
yes,
because I feel like he doesn't know. I personally feel that way. I think the reason that he was able to sing that and live stream it is because he doesn't quite know. Although he's been out here for a long time and some things, but you know, I think the same way where there was the Africa won the World Cup
yeah,
thing and
mm-hmm,
we could laugh at that, right? He doesn't understand. But I think it was Vegeta
mm-hmm,
who explained it really well, where he said, no, it was Joe. He said that when we say they should play for their country there or the country that their parents came from,
mm-hmm,
he explained that it has a different connotation to it.
mm-hmm,
Does that make sense? Because when we as black people look at it and say, oh, they could play for this or they could play for that,
yeah,
it's because we want them to do well. They look at it in a negative thing. It's like a slur when you look at Africa. When
yeah,
they, I mean, look at Africa, when the Argentines look at Africa, it's more of a slur. More like when I was growing up and I thought I was less than because I was black.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to
No,
anybody. Do you
I
guys understand what I'm
I
trying to
I
say?
hear what you're saying. It's the flip that is the inverse of the being inferior. It's a maybe racial superiority complex.
That is it.
You know,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I see what you're
Yes.
saying. Owen. No, very very
That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
So I feel like he needs to learn. He needs to learn
yeah,
why this means what it means. Um, there's one more thing. When you listen to rap, I hate it when our boys sit down and use the N word.
okay,
It's not cool. To me, it's definitely not cool because that is a derogatory word put on us
mm-hmm,
by the plantation masters,
sure,
right?
yeah,
And I know a lot of them are looking at it as if they say they're taking back their autonomy, but it's not. it's still the same derogatory word that they're using,
Fair enough. Fair enough, Luan.
right?
Thanks. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Thanks.
so yeah,
No, thanks for
that's
offering. Those are important perspectives that you have about it, and I appreciate you sharing that. So thank you so much for that.
okay.
Let's
I'm
let
gonna go.
Yeah, let's go around the circle and then close up the show. By the way, guys, if you're just tuning in, I know it's not the easiest, lightest conversation to be having on a Tuesday, but this is where we are. It's obviously all sparked by Spain and also Argentina's post cup celebrations. That's the whole reason we're having this 2 hour discussion, deep dive into racism. So also we know it's a very tricky topic. It's not the lightest one. So apologies if anybody's offended. This is never the intention. The whole point of this discourse is to for us to be a little bit more sensitive towards each other and appreciate and also love each other, because this is why we have this forum for people of different backgrounds, ethnicities, and also whatever sexual preferences, whatever. This is all for us to be able to come together. So let's go to Mr. Vegeta. What are you saying, bro? Just to close up.
To close up, like I'm
Yeah.
saying in the chat, you know what? I just feel like this is not an issue that people care enough about.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's something that we talk about a lot,
Yeah.
but with no actual resolution.
Mm.
And the excuse to say that that racism will always exist for me doesn't feel good enough, because a lot of things that are bad will always exist, but we still put in time and effort to try and curb those things.
Sure.
But with this, it just seems like mm, we'll slap we'll slap a fine on it. We'll talk about it. We'll bow a knee and we'll move on.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling about this whole situation.
Hopefully it's more than just that, Vegeta, but thanks for sharing that. And yeah, man, we it needs to just be more than just a fine. The most important part is the education part and reforming, a way of thinking, right? And yeah, no, thank you for all the perspectives that you shared, especially all of the South Africa context too. So much appreciated, Vegeta. Big up yourself. Let's go to you, Riley.
So to close up tonight,
Yeah.
we want to go where we began, where it all began, the controversy with that video in the Argentinian Cup celebrations.
Yeah.
I feel like Enzo Fernandez apologized, and he did on socials, but I don't think it's enough.
With an Instagram post.
With
Yeah.
with an Instagram post apology, it's
Yeah.
not enough. He should go to training to teach himself not to have these kind of videos
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Two, he should be fined by the Argentinian Football Association, or even worse, dropped out of the team. And if it does not happen, take it to the Premier League. They can sort it out with Chelsea.
Yeah.
They can organise either docking the minute wage or dropping Enzo out of the Chelsea squad as a whole.
Oh,
It may feel like harsh,
yeah.
but I feel like getting an education and appropriate consequences could make him learn his lesson.
Well said, bro. Well said, Riley. I appreciate you so much. And yeah, let's go to Mr. Drex. Let's go to Drex.
Yo, see, just to put it out there for the community, Drex is no racist apologist. Drex is just wanting to find out what people are saying about this situation. And
Yeah.
Dakro, you're gonna be meeting my lawyer. My lawyer will get in touch with you for asking what my prison number is. You would know. I've never been to prison before, and no intent to go there. But just to wrap up, right? Just to wrap up,
Come on. Okay,
uh,
yeah, go ahead.
just to wrap up, it's I feel like if Enzo knew what he was doing, then he himself would when whatever consequences or whatever thing that he meets he would take. But if he
Yeah,
doesn't, but I feel like then he should be open to actually have a dialogue and to learn other people's culture and other people's way of doing things, right?
yeah,
For him to be better, to be a better human being for himself, not just because he's playing for Chelsea or not because he wants to impress anybody, to
Sure.
just be a better human being on your own, be a better Enzo Fernandez, right? So that next tomorrow you don't make the same mistake, because you don't know where this you don't know what will happen after football. You could
Yeah.
be in the heights of the heights, and you this kind of a thing can come back to you and all of that. So you just need to be prepared and be a better person yourself. And finally, Brendan, please do not leave, because I know you're a little bit pissed about what was said. Please, I don't think anybody meant any
Yeah.
to disrespect or offend anybody today. What like Pop Bots has been saying, is a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna agree on everything. So, because I don't agree on the fact that people still see it as racist, but I'll let it be. But please, if anything was said that you didn't like, I'm apologizing on behalf of the panel and everybody. So that's my 2 cents, right? Enzo goes to Chelsea. Let Chelsea deal with it. For United players that were in that bus as well, they should do their investigation, and if they find them wanting, deal with it. Let each club, Macaulay, Liverpool, and everybody, not just Premier League, every other club, do their investigation and let them deal with it internally. It doesn't have to be the Premier League or the La Liga. No, no, just clubs should handle it, and yeah, move on from it. That's my take.
Big up, Drex. That's a beautifully said. Thank you for saying it on behalf of the panelists. Thank you, Riley Taylor, as well. Joe, I gotta ask you,
Yo, my boy, what good?
Mr. Black, Joe Black.
Listen,
Well,
the black man
who,
himself
who,
needs to
who,
speak on this, bro. You know what?
who do you
The
think
funny thing is
started
that
the song, Joe? Who do you think started the song in the bus?
yeah, hey, listen, I'm never gonna start. Listen, I'm not even gonna go there.
No, no, I'm just kidding.
You
Yeah,
know what? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this right now, yeah, because the
yeah.
funny thing was I was gonna use my little time at the end to actually speak to Brendan
Oh,
directly, yeah,
okay. Please
because
do.
I'm saying this right now, yeah.
Yeah,
He said something, and I was actually gonna say to most of the panel that was just here that you just kicked out that you know what?
yeah.
Almost everybody in this panel I almost disagreed with, yeah, with
Mm-hmm.
their final statements.
Yeah.
Almost everybody mentioned the word education,
Okay.
right? And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Brendan made a comment before he said he was gonna leave your channel, right? He said education is quite offensive. Saying that someone needs, and this is what you have to see, yeah?
Yeah.
It is quite offensive because no one could tell me if I've done something wrong that, oh, you need to be educated on the subject better. No, I know exactly what's going on. Yeah? I know
Mm-hmm.
exactly. But I have a disconnect between me and you and them, us and we. We do not connect the way that you think we connect. And there's a disconnect there. This is what I'm saying. Instead of sending, everybody's saying, oh, we need to go on this, what kind of course did you say?
Uh, that was a joke when I was just googling racism
No,
classes
no,
in
no,
the
no, 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 no,
oh,
no, 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 no. Because
cultural
even when they're saying the word, it was
cultural
a,
sensitivity.
it was a,
Yeah, since
that's it, cultural sensitivity course. And I'm like, forget that, bro. That's all of these things are useless. These are the things that has
sensitivity
been
training.
doing, but
Right.
all of these things are useless, yeah, because people have sensitivity, yeah. Ask
Okay.
him how he feels when his daughter gets hurt. Yeah? Ask him how he feels if his mum got punched in the face. He's going to be sensitive to that subject. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But to this subject, he feels a disconnect. And this is what I'm saying about when people need to find a connection. Yeah? So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it doesn't need to be sensitivity training. Him sitting in a room with a white man talking to him about black problems ain't going to help him. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying to you? It's not going to further his education with quote marks in the air any further. Yeah. What needs to happen is that, listen, bro, go sit down and see what you said about he needs to go to Badia Shield's house, man. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
to them man's house. Go sit down with their family. But more than that, it's not about spending time because he does that anyway. He might even be invited to the cookout, but he's just enjoying black culture. A lot of people enjoy black culture.
Of
No,
course.
bro, a lot of people
No.
enjoy black culture in general society. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you enjoy hip hop music, you enjoy black culture. If you
Of course.
enjoy certain other things, you enjoy black culture.
You sang
Black
They Know
culture has
They
become
Class.
pop.
You enjoy black culture.
Bro,
Yeah.
bro, you enjoy black. culture. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying to you is, yeah, it's not like, and don't get me wrong, by the way, it's not just about people enjoying black culture, because black people enjoy white culture too by doing other things, yeah. But I'm not going into that right now. What I'm talking about is this, yeah. So with that being said, bro, you can enjoy black culture without feeling a connection to it. Everybody can enjoy other cultures without feeling a connection to it. Damn it, I eat Chinese food. I don't feel Chinese. Do you understand me? Right? Right? But I love Chinese food, but I
Yeah.
am not Chinese. I enjoy it,
Okay.
but I don't connect with it. Yeah. So this is what people need to realize. Yeah. People go doing insensitive things without knowing what it means to someone else.
Yeah.
Speak to that man when you get back and understand why he feels French. Understand why he believes that he's a French person and why he wants to play and represent France as a person. Because doing something like that for a nation isn't something that you just do lightly. You sat down, you've spoken to your family, you've spoken to this, you've spoken to that, spoken to your agent, and in the end, I've decided I want to represent the country I know best.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
don't come from Angola. I wasn't born there. I don't know that. If someone, listen, I was born in Jamaica, but even like I said to you before, people call me English boy. Yeah. Even
Mhm.
though I connect with the country more than people would know. If someone asked me if you're going to play for England or Jamaica, I would say Jamaica. Yeah. But they'd be like, why? You sound English. I'd be like, well, blood, you don't know me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know me. Yeah, just the same way that you don't know them, bro. And I think that's what needed. It's not this cultural sensitivity training. It needs to be, and doesn't need, sorry, education, none of this bullish. You need to connect with someone on that level. That's what I think.
I hear it and I'm appreciative of it. And I will go ahead and say this big up to Lil Yo-Yo's. Big up to Lil Yo-Yo. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. I think, Joe, like the education part can come off as a little elitist, a little bit like, oh, you're uneducated because that's all,
Exactly.
But I think I would like to think the intentions behind that is exactly the same thing that you're explaining, like finding the connection, finding the bridge, because clearly there's a gap there. The whole thing about people from different races, it doesn't matter if you're Asian, you're Latina, you're African, you're European.
I just saw little Yo-Yo's comment. Sorry.
Don't worry about little yo-yo. It doesn't matter even if you're a little yo-yo. The point is, we're more similar than dissimilar as a people. We're more we care about. You said, oh, maybe the issue of race is so far away and distant from him, but he cares about his family. He cares about his daughter, right? Everybody cares about that family. It doesn't matter what their political views are, religious views, whatever, anything, right? The main point is understanding that we're all humans. We're all really in this planet together. We have to learn to coexist. And part of that process of learning how to coexist is being sensitive to each other. And now I'm hesitating using that word because it sounds like the cultural sensitivity courses thing that we've been mentioning, but it's
No, I
yeah,
think this we just have to be careful not to sound like we're talking down to people when it comes
yes,
to these issues, because we
exactly.
wouldn't want to be spoken down to either. Yeah.
Either.
So if you
Exactly.
tell someone you need to be educated, you need education on the subject, bro. I know the subject. I just don't like you. That's what they're gonna say. You understand me? Yeah.
Yeah.
And because that's what I would say. Let's be real. Are you calling me dumb? I ain't dumb. I just don't like you. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
like you. Whatever. Yeah. That's what will come out people's mouths. At the end of the day, acceptance and understanding is what I think everybody needs to start getting with. Forget this, I'm going to teach you and I'm going to teach that and I'm going to teach. No, 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 bro. Yeah, what you need to do is just understand people a little bit better, because we all come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
all need to have an understanding of other people. And you know what,
Mm-hmm.
bro? I'm not done talking about this. I know you're done, yeah? Truth is truth tomorrow. After I get my hair done, truth is truth, bro. We're going to talk more. We must talk more.
And Joe,
We must talk more.
we
I'm
love
done.
you.
I'm
It doesn't
committed.
matter what color your hair is or how your hair looks, fam. So
My color hair ain't changing, blood. I'm just getting it done, fam. You know, man's I got the afro popping right now. It's not the one.
bring up
But
your
that's my culture. That's my culture.
that's your no. And you know what, Brendan
Is
is
someone talking? Is someone in the background?
hold on. Riley is talking. Riley has something to say. Okay,
Promise
I
you
can't
next
see
game.
him, bro. It's just me and you. Oh,
no,
Right,
Riley
Joe.
hello.
is
Joe, next game. Promise you you'll show your hair on air next stream.
Oh well, it's
Well,
too late. My hair. Listen, my hair will be done next stream. That's what I'm saying. That's why truth is tomorrow because I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. You get me?
yeah, but tonight we talked about it, and the term we want to take away before we wrap up is cultural appropriation, where it takes place when members of a majority group adopt cultural elements of minority group in exploitative, disrespectful, or stereotypical way, and we don't want that to increase. So what we talked about tonight could give us an idea of where we want to move forward. And if anybody has been affected by issues, you could go online to get support and information. And also, there is help and support 24/7 wherever you are. And on that
Big up.
note,
What are you, a BBC radio correspondent? Where the hell you come from, blood? What the hell? Hey, send bin this guy, fam. Wait, what's the numbers though? Yeah, no. What is
No,
this? Yeah, you. When
no,
did
but
you
Joe,
become Radio
Joe,
Two BBC?
Joe,
Where's
Joe,
the information
Joe,
card? Oh, hold
Joe,
on a minute. What am I calling here? No, 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 no. What?
Joe, Joe,
I said
Joe,
I got to call Frank.
Joe,
Nah, blood.
Joe. So that is Joe, Joe. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Blood
I'm so
clot. What
sorry.
is this?
It's gone out of control. But that is the BBC Action 9 page for all information and support tonight.
Bruv, why you not send me this guy? Send me him, blood. Stop making him talk to me. Stop it. Send me
Look,
him. Put your hands on the keyboard, bruv. Send me this guy. What's wrong with you? Don't make me talk to him.
we're going to have to wrap it up, guys, okay? It's getting late. So,
KG, I
big.
don't know that. You see, you're making me call you KG. Blood, listen. Why?
After 2.5 hours, we didn't go anywhere. We'll be here again tomorrow. Same discussion because we need some more. Oh boy. No, big up yourself, Riley Taylor. Subscribe to the Normality channel with Riley Taylor. Subscribe to Backhand Entertainment for part 2 of this conversation. Subscribe to the Halftime with Vegeta. Yeah, wow, not an easy conversation, but the main thing, guys, is I think Joe touched on it. Like, we really need to make sure that we know and recognize and celebrate that we are connected more than disconnected as a people. You and I all bleed the same blood, same color blood. Anyway, so big shout out to you. If you just joined in, Lil Yo-Yo, I'm not even gonna read your comments. Lil Yo-Yo, you need to be here earlier. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Eddie. Eddie, I also saw your comments, but big yourself up. I really wish you were here for this conversation. We had a really, really, really interesting panel, and with all this sound problems that we had today, I think it's safe to say that yeah, today's class on racism and technology is officially over. Big up to yourself for getting through it. It's not the end of it. We shall continue again. My name is botswanapapi. This is the Football Power Hour. We out of here. Peace. Football Power